Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
What's going on, guys? It is time for Championship Sunday here for the PMCO Africa full split. And you've got myself, Moist Max, Donkey Kong, producer Alan, to take you through all the action here today. And it is going to be 4 more games that decide the fate of the entire full split. Things have turned around. Yesterday got very competitive, DK, and now we come to decide which team will be grabbing that first place spot, how the money will be distributed across these teams that are left within the finals, and all the excitement will come to a close, and we will realize which team from the region will make it to the EMEA Championship.
Yeah, it's been an absolute grueling few days that the teams have been fighting out, especially in the finals. And as you pointed out yesterday, quite an absolutely crazy day. But now moving into the final day, this is what everything boils down to, as you pointed out. This is where we see who will be moving into that slot for EMA. So I'm expecting it to be absolutely crazy action for all 4 games we have in store here.
Oh, massively, mate. That's what we're looking forward to seeing. Let's see if anyone can maybe jump up and how it will all work out. But I do want to remind everyone at home that Inemo TV is the official media partner of the PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021. So make sure you check them out, because more support coming to PUBG Mobile, the better. And that's what we want to see. But I do want to remind you guys for one final time what this format is, how it's all been working out. We're on the final day of the final stage, and there's 4 more matches to go. And that first place team will go forward to the EMEA Championship. It's been a long route for these guys. They started off with 32 teams in the group stage. We've whittled it down just to 16. They've been fighting off back and forth. There's been teams that have shown us some great performances, but only one team will make it through to take that EMEA Championship spot and $4,000 in there. But how do they get there? Well, they have to get some points, and all these points they've been grabbing so far and the distribution across it is a first place will net you 15. You see it whittle all the way down until you get to that end 12th place. Because if you finish 13th to 16th, you will get 0 unless you get some kills with it. You should be looking to get as many kills as possible as well, because you've got to find this balance, right, DK, between points that come off from the kills and what you get in placements.
Yeah, and as we've seen, that 1 kill, 1 point, that is absolutely essential. We've seen teams really step up and just inch their way up that leaderboard, bringing in some phenomenal gameplays and get rewarded for the aggression that they've been showing. So today's going to be a very exciting day. The team's now really utilizing that point distribution, and they know where they are. They know how many points they still need to make up for, and
Yep.
I'm expecting it to be pretty hot, pretty spicy all the way through. And I think this is going to be some really entertaining gameplay we have here today.
And KHK, right, yesterday finally got themselves above Slime 4KT. So right now they sit in first place where, well, when you look at this prize pool, it could be a nice amount of money they could be walking home with today. It's a $30,000 prize pool overall. All of the 32 teams that made it into PMCO do get a bit of that in there. But our top 16 right now from $750 to $4,000 in first place. If you can make some big jumps, even if you don't have a chance of winning right now, DK, there's still a chance to make an extra bit of money and also gain some respect from the other teams in the region that you've managed to achieve a little bit better than what we may have expected.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really healthy distribution we have, and it makes it worthwhile for the teams to participate, but also it motivates them to try and push for those higher placements, for those positions higher up on that leaderboard. And aside from walking away with $4,000 in the bank, the top team, they're going to have that opportunity to participate in the PMPL EMEAs. And I can tell you, from what we saw in that first season, it has been a really great learning ground for the teams. And I'm excited to see who's going to be the one to move on to that.
Oh, yes, that's what today is all about. And the schedule, as always, will see us with an Erangel game into Sanhok, into Miramar, and another Erangel. And DK, we're actually going to be nice today, right? And give Moist Mac a chance to play Miramar once again. He's finally getting it, He complained all the time, and now he's managed to get what he wanted. So he can't complain anymore, right? He should just be smiling.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on his knees just begging to get into some more Miramar action. I can't really blame him. Miramar is, as you've pointed out, it's our favorite map, and it's quite exciting to see what the teams do on that. And, I'm really expecting some fantastic things to come in here today. And, I can't even wait. It's like, it's 4 games, but it's quite scary to think of, like, this is the final 4 games. After this, it's done.
Yes.
Like, there's no more changing.
It has gone very fast, right? And we said about it when it comes to the 4 final days. It is do or die. Maybe the whole first day you don't do well could end your entire chances. But it has all come down to this. This was the introduction to our Championship Sunday here for the PMCO Africa. We'll be back in just a few moments and start by bringing you our opening game of Erangel.
Rena 5. Cooldown.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
We are one step closer now to going into our opening game and seeing what the fates will be for a lot of these teams within the region. It's all come down to this. We've already touched on everything that's going to be going down today. And these final 4 matches are going to be showing us what on earth is going on with all of these guys. Now, when it comes to this, right, DK, we know that these teams will be trying maybe to switch things up a little bit, maybe some hot drops to come into play. Do you expect Slime, we know how aggressive they can get, to maybe try and hunt KHK? Because we spoke about this. KHK have been the most consistent by far, but it certainly isn't like an easy route for them to do it, right? A lot of the time they were trailing Slime and trying to catch up with it. And I'll let you think about your answer real quick, DK, and then you can answer after I've done this, because as always, we are born to win, as I welcome everyone to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones and dominate your PUBG mobile lobbies, which is exactly what we want to see these teams do on the final day. So, DK, what are you saying, my friend?
Well, it's definitely a possibility that we could see Slime really stepping it up today, but there's 2 other teams that I also think could come back swinging, and that could potentially try and make a run for that pole position, right? And that, of course, would be the side of G3 and Mezexis. Because Mezexis yesterday, they've just played some absolutely phenomenal gameplay and showed great potential. And I mean, that opens up the door really here today for them to improve on what they did yesterday. But this is the final day. This is that pressure cooker situation. They now need to step up and do so consistently if they want to make a run for that top spot. So yeah, I think it's going to be Slime, G3 and Mezexis that are going to be pushing on KHK so hard for that slot.
Well, let's see how it all goes down. As always, INF will find themselves comfortably out towards Severny. Slime probably looking, unless we do see a hot drop, which there is always a possibility, looking to get some vehicles and go down to South Georgia Pole, where they've been losing throughout the majority of it. And, well, we start off with a not-so-comfortable circle here on Erangel. Probably about 35%, maybe 40% water in there, which will limit the space we have early on. A lot of teams will have to rotate in quite fast. And maybe what we saw from Slime the last couple of times we've had circles similar to this is they'll be one of the later teams coming on into it, changing up from being so aggressive, which they normally are at the beginning. So already, just to kick things off on our final 4 games, things start to become a little bit hectic here, DK. And that's what at least we love to see as commentators, because it provides an enormous amount of fun. The players, on the other hand, probably not so happy.
I mean, I'm excited to get into this match to see what the teams are going to do, because they're definitely going to be tested looking at where that zone is. And with such a big amount of these teams already being within that zone, I'm thinking they're going to be struggling to kind of get into a decent looting position. Looking over into Naya, it is a fairly comfortable spot. Gun and Fainted, they can go about their business without really running into each other. Unless, of course, that is their strategy coming into the day here. But strangely enough, we also now see the players there from 4KT actually looking to rotate out. But up ahead of them, we see the players from Team Somalia as well as Influence RRAGE Africa positioned over on towards that northwestern side. So it's going to be a really tricky rotation for 4KT to try and break out from the zone just to go and loot up, because most of those locations over towards the west, we already have teams there.
Now, what I'm going to do, DK, while we've got the beginning part of this game going down, we're only 3 minutes in, and not too much madness tends to happen at this point. It's just give a reminder verbally what happens here on the overall standings for people. So right now, KHK took the lead yesterday. They've got 174 points, 2 chicken dinners under their belt. Then just below them with 157 points is Slime 4KT, 2 chicken dinners as well. G3 Temper, 137 in third place, 2 chicken dinners. Mezexis, 126, and they also have 2 chicken dinners. Young Thunder, then being the 5th place team, is 25 points behind even the 4th place team with 101, and then it whittles down further. What I find very interesting here, though, is the Drogons, right? They have 2 chicken dinners, only 62 points, and in 13th place. For these guys, they've had such terrible games at times, which is probably going to be really painful for them, that even when they win these games, it's not been able to help them jump up massively. So maybe there's something they can do in terms of getting a few more points on the board and trying to push themselves maybe into the top 10, top 8, something like that. But still, for them, the inconsistency, when we talk about consistency always in PUBG Mobile, it is such a key aspect for it. Well, they need to find a way of making today their best day ever if they want to make the most of those 2 chicken dinners they had.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely essential to try and move up. But as we've seen now, a good pace to bring in is that consistent placement. That is what is absolutely essential. So getting 1 or 2 chicken dinners, it helps, but aside from that, you need to consistently, game after game, find yourself in at least the top 5 or the top 10. And that's where the Drogons have actually been struggling with a little bit, is finding that consistency. Yes, they have these 1 or 2 stellar games. They step up, they get a winner, win a chicken dinner, but then right after that, they are the first team back out of the lobby, or they finish within, the bottom 4 slots for that particular match.
It's something a lot of these teams obviously are aware of when it comes to how up and down their results can be, how they can try and make things better for themselves. It's not always going to go your way. Sometimes you can get very unlucky with it, but when you had a fair few games where you're getting just 0 and stuff, it's just not been panning out for them. Now we're looking at Slime right now, currently sat in 2nd place. They were leading all the way up until yesterday by quite a big margin, and now they've got to try and jump back up and take on the likes of KHK. They didn't decide to hot drop anywhere. They didn't decide to go a little bit more crazy with it all. And I respect it, right? You don't always have to do this, but it is a team right now in terms of KHK that not only have been consistent, but pulled in them 2 chicken dinners yesterday, which saw them go up into 1st place.
That's what makes this so exciting. And it also, it just shows the level of the teams participating here. It's not that easy for one particular team to dominate and just take control and run away with that leaderboard. I mean, we saw kind of that play come in from Slime 4KT, but then KHK was like, you know what, hang on, no, this is not going to work. We can't let them win. And they stepped up. They just brought in that consistency match after match after match, and then boom, there they are sitting up in pole position. So it's definitely so doable for these teams to bring in quite a bit of change. And I think only the teams in those top 4 slots, they could definitely make a run for finishing up in pole position for that slot into EMA. But the rest of the lobby, they still have that opportunity to make their way into that top 8. They have that opportunity, that chance. If they just get down to business, they do, and they play the game the way that they know they can and that we've seen them do, they could definitely benefit off of that at the end of the day.
They certainly can, but remember, one bad game for some of these teams will feel themselves making that journey up to get some more points even harder, In their minds, it's like one wrong move, this is where it can all go wrong, and you can find things just not going to be going the way you hoped it would pan out for a day like today, because there is no more chances after this. This is it. The final 4 games. This is our first game of Erangel, and this is where some teams will have to decide on how much we're changing up here. How much are we going to adjust from what we've been doing before? Because maybe at times it just wasn't good enough here. But Leader, he sees these G3 players going on forward, takes a few shots, and okay, the problem with the first shot he took there, obviously he was biding his time a little bit, but now he's alerted them to his position. Now he's got to try and escape out of here. Obviously, they don't know how many players are around just yet. The rest of Lag do want to turn up into this. Considering where Lag is right now in 9th place, if they're able to take down G3 Temper, that hurts G3 Temper a lot more than it hurts Lag in here. But Lag, they're just going to pick their teammate up and get the hell out of here. And many people look at this final day, right? And one thing we have to really keep an eye on is it's not just the teams that maybe don't have a chance now getting 1st place. It's the money they can gain just by going a few positions up. So the pressure is there for everyone. No one wants to be dropping down positions. Everyone wants to hold on to their chances to get as much as that $30,000 prize pool as possible. So everyone is going to be delivering in a big way wherever possible.
And that's what makes it so exciting. I mean, this is that final opportunity to change it up. And just looking at the leaderboard, yes, it is pretty close in the top 4 teams. Not a lot of points separating them. It's about 20 points between each team. But as we move down from 6th place all the way down to, for instance, 13th place, that's only a 30-point difference. So that there's quite a bit of jumping that can come in. The teams just need to get down. They need to focus. They need to bring in their gameplay. And looking at what the zone is looking like, we're going to be seeing a lot of carnage erupting on this match pretty soon.
And there's some potential carnage right in front of us here. Rila Insider going up against RRAGE. RRAGE have really been able to show us multiple times that they can take the fight even to some of the best teams out here. We're looking to see what they can do up against Rila now. Trip trying to use that car for a bit of cover in there, but he's instantly dealt with. No problem at all. He's surrounded. More shots coming out. Oh, beautiful decision on the prone coming through. They go in for the eliminations. 2 swift kills found. And the rest of Rila, well, they don't want to be trying to fight into this one. Parla's going to be rocking up just for on the side of him. One's already knocked. Coco trying to pull off the revive. Parla not willing to risk it just yet. Doesn't want to work his way further forward. Rola's going to be left alone now. He decides, nope, you know what? I want nothing to do with this revive. It's too much of a risk. And Parla, well, he spots him out, quickly goes in for the finish off. Will grab themselves the 3rd kill up in it. And good old Roller, he's pretty much rolling away. That's all he's got hope for. They're checking everything in there. Coco now down behind the tree. And, well, he's trying to find cover. I like it. As he does decide to go downhill, he's just hiding in different spots. But I think he's easily going to be found. It's whether he can get away, whether he can avoid the shots that do come out towards him. And right now, RRAGE, they want that 4th point. They feel like they deserve it. Where Rila, their best shot here now is just to keep a solo player alive, stay alive as long as possible, and maybe be able to jump up into some of the placement points. But it's certainly not going to be easy.
Yep, it's definitely going to be quite a bit of a fight here. And, I mean, now it's an absolutely essential play there for Coco. He needs to hope that the players here from RRAGE kind of lose interest on him being in the vicinity and potentially deciding to move elsewhere. And the same kind of situation is going on here for Berserk. Yes, he's not the last remaining player for his team, but he is pretty isolated, and he needs to be so careful with how exactly he approaches the scouting process that he's going through now, because if he moves up a little bit too far, that opens up that opportunity for the shots to find their way on through. And Mezexis, I mean, they've come into today. They want to prove a point, and I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to try and continue with the momentum we saw them building up yesterday, because yesterday for Mezexis was absolutely on fire with both those chickens coming in.
Yeah, I never expected it from a team like Mezexis, right? They really did wait until yesterday to bring us what they could. Showed us an impressive game overall. Walked away with, like you said, the chicken dinner's coming through, and at least for them, right? Getting that chicken dinner yesterday, putting up a big performance, certainly something they can feel some confidence with. But to now be this close, it definitely will change their mentality on what might be possible. Because probably at the beginning of yesterday, they didn't even think that was an option.
But also, like, that's where the whole mentality comes in. You know, what kind of mindset the teams come into this match with. I think that is what makes or breaks the team. If they succumb to the pressure of the day, the pressure of the stage that they're fighting in, that is where they start falling off and not performing at their optimal performance. And I'm really sincerely hoping that the teams have taken the opportunity. They've just, you know, come up with some strong strategies to come into today, but also thinking of a way to maintain a good mentality throughout the day, because you got to pace yourself. You can't go full out in one game and then have ridiculous games the coming ones. You need to find that balance, make a good consistent push. And so far we've really seen quite a strong evolution with teams with that regard. And now here we go, Mezexis having that opportunity, but Berserk, he is just stepping out swinging, and it's a nice trade-off actually between Mezexis and Lag.
Mezexis need to be able to deal with this. This is not what they want to be losing at all. Mercury is on the floor, but they're not going in for the finish off yet. Lag have now bought themselves enough time to bring the revive through. That's what could be key in turning this fight around, by having the numbers advantage in it. Smoke's going to go down. Berserk trying to take a few pop shots through it, hoping it might be able to connect, as Mercury desperately wants to. be able to get back to his teammates, keep himself alive as long as possible. Nade goes up, but it won't get close enough to him. Pyro, I love what he's doing now. Kind of come in from the side. Does need to be aware of Zero, though. And they did hear the vehicle, at least. Matrix pulling off the revive himself and wants to make this back into a 4v4. But we also see FEINTED. Sadly, right now at the very bottom with only 27 points. It has been very tough for these guys. About to go up against Young Thunder. That's a good grenade. Does a nice bit of damage, and the rest of them are ready to try and take in this fight. They have already lost Romeo, but Power will find himself taking a few good shots down here, trying to make sure he can do some damage onto him. He then gets put down on the floor, but it's going to be very hard for Young Thunder to push on into this. They put the smoke on down, but Siberia needs to be careful. They're ready and waiting for him. The damage is being done, and straight into the finish off. Any points the FEINTED can get now, they will happily grab. Big difference here for FEINTED is if they can just even get a couple of good games in today, they can jump up quite high and try and get a bit more money on the board here. From 16th to 1st, pretty much impossible, I'll be honest. Like, it's not been so good for them, but anything they could do, you know, maybe get to 14th, 13th, something like that. That would be respectable. That would be a good comeback for these guys. At least here, 2 kills and keeping 4 alive. No problem to get this revive in here. Good use of the utility already. That would be something they would want to work with, as Young Thunder are now down to just 2 players.
This is going to be so important for FEINTED to try and secure this play. And we've seen this whole region. I mean, this is actually very similar to one of the previous matches we've had right here on Erangel. So I'm curious to see just how the players from FEINTED are going to look to play the shelter compound and potentially maybe sneak themselves out one of the other exits. Because for the time being, they do have that option. They can potentially rotate out, seeing that we do have the players from Mezexis position right behind them, so they need to be careful. Team Somalia also just on the edge of that zone, and now they need to rotate out, move all the way out into that beautifully open piece of land over on the west.
And look at this, right? So not just this circle, but 2 circles ago, we saw it shift over more to the western side. At the time, we saw 4KT still not looking to get aggressive, not looking to jump in too early on. They obviously rotated through the blue from South George Bolt, quite late up into it all. Can they find some success off the back of how this has all worked out? Because there was a lot of space on that western side. So many teams committed to the mid and the east. What a good spray down in here. Very nice there from True. Blocked him in. They poked on out and he hit the shots needed. Still 2 players he would need to find. Going to go in for a bit of the pre-fire as well. His teammates not following him into it yet, and maybe they don't want to overcommit at this stage. But FEINTED do find themselves still trapped down here a little bit longer. And although they may have got the 2 kills they wanted, getting out is going to be incredibly tough.
Oh, man. This is so crazy. Young Thunder just playing the edge there, trying to block the entrance, or rather the exit, but now they need to focus on that rotation back up into zone. As we did see, the zone has shifted up. They've run out of time. Blue zone is closing in. FEINTED now trying to bring in a little bit of an alternative escape route, but it's going to be absolutely essential for Young Thunder to rotate back into zone. They can't waste too much time waiting for FEINTED to rotate out of shelter. It's going to be a little bit too late for them, and yeah, I'm hoping to see that push come back into zone.
Well, I'm hoping to see some more McLarens for today, just to make Max that little bit more jealous. As we do watch Young Thunder find their way out of this. They did lose 2 players in the process of all of this, only gained themselves 1 point and 1 kill. Not the most ideal situation already, but they will be able to make this rotation without too much difficulty. Coming later into the party on it all, they do need to be cautious of where these other players and teams sit. They can hear tons of bullets start to be shot out here. And I love that our observers just stay with True on the McLaren for as long as possible. Just make sure Max really soaks it in, you know, enjoys it, sees it. There we go. Look at this. It's amazing the whole way through. Oh, there we go. Bit of a run over. Put him on the floor. Why not? Recoil. You'll take that all day long. Slay does want to try and provide some shots back in retaliation, but it won't be working out. At least they gain themselves 1 more point there for the Young Thunder crew.
And this is again where we see some strong players coming in. Gun holding on to the north, but this eastern side is going to be so challenging, as we can see quite a big concentration of teams now just fighting it out. And I mean, the team here from RRAGE, caught in a nice bit of a bowl here. They do have access or line of sight to this compound where we see Influence Rage currently situated within. But now Influence, they're focusing on the players there from Blackjack as well as Flacco from G3 just on the off end there. But fortunately for Flacco, rather, he has that support of his team. They're right there alongside him, so they can afford to just try duck and weave those shots and determine which would be the best approach to get up into that zone to secure a decent anchor point. But the spread, of course, now just all around the exterior of the zone. And I mean, MZR, they're sitting pretty golden, dead set center zone, and now they find themselves within the next phase as it moves up. But Blackjack also just barely within that zone.
We've gone on quite some, I wouldn't say the hardest of shifts, but it's going out right into the open where there's not many teams already sat. Slime now will have to get their run on at the same time. FEINTED have finally gone down. It wasn't looking great for them from where we caught up with them in the first place. Not a bad nade considering how high that was thrown. Didn't quite hit the ground before it exploded, but did a little bit of damage. INF still with 4 alive and a good compound to sit in within these moments, but as soon as that blue starts to come in, they will have to back away. But they know there's plenty of teams around the edges that they might want to be able to pop some shots off on and try and get some damage done. Careful. Everyone's just like giving them a tiny bit of a poke. Some shots come out towards them. They try to duck down, but there's so many teams surrounding the whole area. Kedda can do some big damage from here, and he's able to quickly protect his teammate and himself. Find that beautiful McLaren as well while getting the kills picked up. There's so many McLarens on here. Look, this is just a very talented lobby who can actually get the vehicles they want. So Max clearly needs to work harder on all of this, you know. Because our teams, they've been doing it.
At least Max can just sit and, you know, just stare at all the McLarens on screen. You know, again, the observers doing a fantastic job. There's 2 of them parked side by side. And speaking about side by side, G3 positioned right there alongside each other on that bridge line, looking to find that break up into zone. But Team Somalia trying to suppress that rotation. Flacco now taking a little bit of damage as those grenades get sent over, but here comes the rush. G3 looking to push in. Are they looking to make themselves known? Oh, are they going to be able to push in, though?
This is treacherous. I don't fancy their chances of this. Somalia, they come on out. They do some big damage. G3 need to be careful. Nade's going up. Uden's very low with it. Oh, and he still manages to make it work, though. Not bad at all. Where's the reply, though? Flacco wanting to push up, got the Uzi in hand as well. Close range, wanting to spray him down, and Somalia find themselves eliminated. G3 confidently across into the smokes using their vehicles. They've got 3 players still alive in it and find themselves in a shack, which is a spot they can work with at least for now.
Any anchor point that they can find in the zone is going to be absolutely crucial for their success in this game. But the Drogons being put on a slight bit of a back foot as we do see a little bit of an advance coming in there from Mezexis. They're trying to play this ridge line. JR just trying to inch his way forward. Nero, of course, bleeding out. Shaky Boy just quickly getting that res in on him. But this is where that position is going to be absolutely essential. The zone shifting up all the way in towards the north, and the southern edge here is going to be crucial if the teams want to try and push into zone. KHK, 4KT, the Drogons, Mezexis. All teams we've seen bring home a winner chicken dinners caught in the south, side by side fighting it out, and JR tries to get up to put a shot in. But of course, KHK, they just lying in wait, ready to pounce.
Shaky Boy, he made some noise. He got put down. The Drogons may be split up at the moment, but they are being picked apart one by one. Nero hoping there might be something he can do from here, but he was unable to save his fallen teammates, and now they're looking to play the long game. 4KT at the moment, covered in a lot of smoke, but very close together. One nade would be absolutely horrendous for him. As KHK up at 4 kills already, still 4 alive. Starting to get more active now, starting to poke out, looking to take some shots here, and oh, that's a good start. Finds Mystery, takes him out the car, will quickly eliminate him as well. The teamwork is there. Mezexis are under pressure. They try to push forward, and they are getting absolutely annihilated here. One by one, they start to fall. Pyro trying to make sure he's got some cover from the car, but nades are going to go out as well. The Drogons have fallen at the same time, and it is all kicking off now as we just have 7 teams remaining, potentially soon to be 6. More damage being done from start to finish. Slime want to get a piece of the action. They know it's time for them to start and get some kills, but instead they get plenty of bullets out towards them. They go down as well, and this is beautiful for KHK to extend their lead further, as Blackjack Esports also up at 10 kills right now and still in a good position to fight.
What's going on here, James? This is insane. I mean, the teams are dropping like flies. Even there we go now. KHK losing one of their players, and I mean, this is absolute insanity. Mezexis holding strong, Blackjack holding strong, KHK get eliminated, Gun and Influence Rage also still in the mix. I mean, this has been chaotic, but so beautiful to watch. I mean, Blackjack up onto 11 kills, MZR sitting on 7, Influence sitting on 2, and Gun on 1 kill. But there's so many more opportunities to bring in those additional kills, and Gun and Influence Rage now side by side.
DK, brother, I feel like we went from 13 to 4 teams in like, I just blinked and it all happened at once. There were so many send-its, there was different teams just going in, rushing forward with the vehicles, trying to have something work in their favor. Did I see a crate as well? Just like, yeah, it's basically landed on top of INF. That's beautiful for them if they are able to get their hands on top of it. MZR, utility barrage coming on through, plenty of nades going on up, but it's INF that are going to eat some nades back at them for now, and it's Gun doing the damage. INF, they're actually being wrecked right now, one by one, starting to get knocked on the floor. Can Gun make this work in their favor? Turpis, we kept calling him the clutch master within this region. He's been doing great work over and over again. Battle here, doing the rest of INF, and Gun still continues to go on. 4 still alive. Plaza looking to bring himself back up, but they will be eliminated, and Gun pick themselves up a few more kills that they can be proud of and move up into guaranteed top 3. They've got 4 alive alongside MZR, as Blackjack Esports are the team that's limping a little bit further. Only 2 players in it. But it's Gun position that's huge here. And Plaza wants to get to that crate. There might be some gifts in there that he would need right now, especially as that nade goes forward. More damage being done. And, mate, we're going back to it. The African nades are huge.
I mean, this is absolute insanity, but Gun, they've come back in today. They want to prove a point. They are not satisfied with sitting in 15th place. They're bringing in an absolute banger of a game. Blackjack get eliminated, finishing off on 21 points for the match. But this is now the game in which Gun is going to try and push up. But both Gun and MZ are sitting on 7 kills apiece. Now it is purely to see who will end up with the highest kill count or the highest points at the end of the matches. Gun now is getting super aggressive. Plus are moving in.
He's trying to get all the information. He runs around and he just causes such a distraction. He gets all the information he needs as to where they sit. And if he can now put some well-placed nades out there, it might be very bad for MZR. Pounds looking to go on the side swipe as well. I absolutely love this. Snaking his way up for success. Madara jumps up and, well, that definitely would have been seen here. Look at the spread. 2 players together. 2 moving forward. The nades are coming out. Big damage being done. Everyone from Gun is ready to take this win and jump up on the final day. Make some noise and congratulate these guys on a very well-played finish out here. Clutcher, he may be on the floor already, but they want to make sure they pick up these kills. It'll end with Gun taking the win. A 26-point win for these guys coming into play and a well-deserved victory on the opening game of Erangel. But Gun is not a team that's in contention for that first place, not even close to it, DK. Just a bit more money that will be going into their pockets. But wow, what an ending. There was so much risk-taking. Like I said, it felt like I just blinked and half the team just disappeared.
It was absolutely crazy. I mean, like, once we got into that 4th phase, that is when my face started breaking. It's just like, I'm sitting there, I'm smiling, I don't know what to do. It is insane. It's gunshots, it's fights, it's chaos. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, a phenomenal way to kick off the final day, the first match. Insane stuff. Beautiful play from Gun. Absolutely amazing finish. It's just so sad that we only see it today. I would have liked to have seen it sooner, but man, it's still a fantastic way to close off this first game.
That is certainly what it's all about. I'm excited to see how many points these teams got right, because KHK just managed to outlast Slime in the end. But Slime, Oh man, only placement points, no kill points in there. They were coming in from the western side. I mentioned the fact that they were there on the back foot, right? Always kind of just catching up. They were coming into the circle fine after phase 3, but then they weren't really getting into the engagements. They were trying to play out a longer game here, not as aggressive as they normally are. Well, that will see a 9-point lead now for KHK in terms of these two teams fighting out between first and second. But Blackjack Esports and Gun, two teams we've been quite critical on, not maybe having the success of what we saw in group stages. At least here, they've woken up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they definitely have. And I mean, Blackjack, they already started to push from yesterday. We've already seen a fantastic jump from 14th place up into 7th. And now coming into today, starting off that match, a really strong finish once again. And moving on to the second page, this is where things are not looking too favorable, though. I mean, Rila Insider, they were really showing some phenomenal potential. They finished so strong after that first day of finals, but unfortunately, really just struggling to find that footing, that rhythm, that flow. But man, either way, this has been a very amazing first match.
Game 1 certainly delivered, and for game 2, we're going to be moving on to Moist Mac, his favorite map of Sanhok. We're going into the Moisture Hills. We're seeing the heat rise up, and we're seeing which teams might be able to take the win and how it will all go down. If game 1 was anything to go by, you definitely don't want to miss game 2. We'll see you in a little bit of time.
5. Cooldown to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Well, if game 1 is anything to go by, DK, we are in for a treat for the remaining games today because it is still up in the air. It is still incredibly close amongst our teams right at the top. And my, oh my, Erangel kind of just turned into a bit of madness where teams really did just kind of throw it all to the wind and want to get in the action and kind of didn't work out from so well for some of the top boys.
Yeah, it was quite an entertaining match to watch, and I mean, especially from that 6th phase, it was just insanity. It was face-breaking action for me, if you could put it that way, if it even is a thing. But looking at the standings, James, oh man,
KHK, they took that little lead and extended it further with Slime only getting 4 points on the previous game. G3 Temper still 20 points away from even 2nd place right now, and Mezexis, things looked good from when we were seeing him throughout the early stages of Erangel. Then it did slow down a bit. But Blackjack Esports, they're making a recovery for sure here, mate.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, I'm already making such a great improvement from 7th up into that 5th position. And if they continue with that momentum, we could see them finishing much higher up on that leaderboard. But looking at the 2nd page, you know, this is still, the teams have that opportunity to make it up into the 1st page. How far into the 1st page is going to be completely and entirely up to them. But Influence Rage right there on the verge of crossing onto that onto that 1st page.
And that's what it's all about, trying to jump up, trying to grab some more money if you can, but also seeing what can be done, at least for these top teams, in getting maybe another chicken dinner that could really see them jump on up. That's what it's all about, right? Because for now, where you see such like 20-point difference and stuff, you need a win really to be able to just take it. You can be consistent, but you can't rely on that. So a big win would help you have a better success of it all. But we are going over to Moist Matt and his favorite map of Sanhok. And we are going to tell you, as always, we are born to win. As I welcome you all to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. You guys can get your gamer mode on with a much-loved Reno 5 series of phones. And maybe one day we will be covering you guys in the PMCO Africa or whatever region you're from, because you don't have to be from Africa to be watching it. I do appreciate everyone in the chat giving us the love and giving us the support. We want to be having a banging day come out here today. And, well, Max has given us some information here, DK. He's saying this is a Tesla. Okay, so the purple one is the Tesla, not the McLaren. So is the blue one the McLaren then, Max? Is that where we're going with this? And I just followed you, Max. You're the one who kept saying you wanted the McLaren. So we just went with it, you know. I don't have the car. I'm not really a skin guy. There are many McLaren colors, but the purple one is the Tesla. Okay, so the rest are McLaren. Tesla is the kind of purpley, young Thunder styled colored one. Guess we're going with that.
But either way, it's the skin that Max is looking for.
Yes, Max wants it desperately. He ain't having it. This is the way it goes.
Oh, But man, some pretty interesting drop locations coming in here once again. We got actually the players there from MZR and the Drogons side by side in towards the ruins. And looking at Painan, it is also looking pretty hot and spicy for the players here from Team Somalia and FEINTED, with the addition of Blackjack just a little bit further away over on towards the south there. So yeah, some crazy expectations coming in. As you said, if the first game is anything to go off of, this match is going to be on fire. And it's also going to be face-breaking stuff. It's going to be face-melting action.
Oh, yes, definitely. That's what we're going to be looking to see as FEINTED and Somalia close to each other here. Out in Painan for the moment. Okay, Max has given us a little more of an update. He goes, I want the Tesla too, so it still counts. So Tesla or McLaren, Max wants it all. He doesn't have any of it. And unfortunate for him, really. Now, could be unfortunate for Dizzy if Kingamin does pop out at any point, because Dizzy's making a lot of noise jumping along the roofs for now, and he may not know that he is about to get shot in the back if Somalia do decide to take that attack. But for now, Kingamin is being a little bit more cautious, doesn't want to give himself away and let them know that he is close by within this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is some strategic delayed rotation coming in. Just waiting to see what's going to happen, whether or not we can have Dizzy or someone else potentially run in right in front of him there. But this is also a little bit of a tricky spot here. I mean, Hanad scored completely all the way far away from everyone else. I'm not quite sure what happened really with the drop. Maybe it was a late jump or something. I'm not quite sure, but it does throw a little bit of a spanner in the works. Or maybe that was planned and they've come in with this big brain strategy to, you know, have Hanad be like that special secret agent.
The secret agent, I like it. Put him on his 007. See what he can get done. Find some success, you know. Sneak around. No one knows what's happening. He just pops off every now and again. But it looks like Beast and Chapo are going to find themselves getting closer towards Kingamin, who has decided he still doesn't want to move. Dizzy's going to hear these footsteps. He's going to be well aware of what could be going down. The nades are going to be put up high. Is Dizzy going to be safe? A bit of damage comes out towards him. Does he know how close Kingamin is now, though? Because he heard the other players, but Kingamin was just keeping it very chill, waiting it out. Dizzy runs on forward, and he actually ends up running out towards Kingamin. Shots are going to be taken. But Kingamin, he doesn't seem too confident to go in for this. Dizzy, he's really able to just run away from it all over and over again. And it's a game of cat and mouse, quite really.
Yeah, and I mean, cat and mouse is actually quite a difficult game to play. I had my run at it the other day, but now it is all between Team Somalia and FEINTED. Leonidas cooking up that nade, looking to find a sweet spot to send it in. El Chapo hearing that pin being pulled and quickly just disengaging from that. I'm curious to see, though, what Team Somalia is going to do here. Whether or not they're going to try and flank around, push onto FEINTED. Because FEINTED, they've lost one man now. They're down to 3. Team Somalia still sitting on 4. They have the numbers advantage. But are they going to be looking to utilize that?
Yeah, the numbers advantage is one thing, but it's also understanding where all these players sit around. FEINTED up, slowly but surely moving away, not wanting to hang around here for too much longer. But both teams aren't fully wanting to commit to a fight like this just yet. And this is the thing for Somalia. Although they do have the numbers advantage, with Hanad being further away, like you said, playing the 007 role, he can't be a direct help into it all just yet. And they are just basically at a stalemate at this point, right? It's just a hang back and hope someone makes a mistake, maybe comes out towards you. But no big fight going to be happening just yet. RRAGE have also lost a player. I'm not sure if they just didn't spawn in with a player. I didn't actually look to see how many players spawned in at the very beginning. But RRAGE will find themselves down just with 3 as well. Which is not what they would have wanted, because they have been in a position where they had chances to jump further up. We've seen a lot of good performances come out of these guys.
Man. Yeah, okay, so RRAGE, they did lose Paula a little bit earlier. So that's why they are a man down. But I got to say, though, just looking at the rest of the teams moving in, we've got Young Thunder and the Drogons just positioned further north from this region. And then, of course, we've got Gun right there on the road behind them. So man, this is really starting to heat up. I think we're going to have another insane play coming into potentially even just the second phase. So looking at the position, the team's really looking to move into some strong, favorable plays. And I mean, 4KT as well as Lag up in towards that bootcamp region. Now with G3 also moving into bootcamp. I mean, this is going to be a crazy, crazy match.
That's what we want, and that's what we expect when it comes to the final day of our finals here for the PMCO Africa full split. As Hanad, like we already mentioned, playing the 007 role, quite literally right now. Prone down, not making any noise, can hear Superior close to him. But he knows it's a risk if he doesn't want to jump up and take into this fight because his teammates are already quite busy, still trying to deal with Fainted, who find themselves now down a player with Dizzy being punched up. Already we saw that they lost power. That's 2 players not in this fight for the Fainted boys, who currently sit in 16th place. It has not been easy for them here in the finals. Leonidas goes down as well. Zero the last one to find, and I don't fancy his chances, I'll be honest. And people can look at Fainted and think, oh, 16th, not so many points in this, like, oh, they shouldn't be in the final, something like that. It still took a lot of effort and skill for them to qualify through, you know. It's a learning curve for a lot of teams when they get to the finals. It's completely different, like we were explaining earlier. When you come from playing the group stage and the level the teams bring, because sometimes they just hold back during group stage and then they really dial it up and say, okay, we're ready to take this #1 spot. And every game like this, every official game is absolutely huge because, oh, Hanad's gone down actually. So his 007 moment didn't work out too long for him, sadly. But yeah, the hunt still continues to take out Fainted. As I was saying, though, it's a learning curve for a lot of teams when they get to this stage. Right, getting to the finals is huge. You were one of the top 16 teams within the region to even have a chance of playing in it. And this kind of experience, these kind of official games, it's just invaluable.
Yeah, I mean, the players here from the Drogons being a really good example of that. But Zero, oh man. Ooh, nice shot into Gingham. And oh, down goes El Chapo. Come on. Is he going to clutch it? Is he going to go from 0 to hero? No. Oh, DBS comes in to save the day, and Beast just so on point with that shot. Absolutely insane. Well done. But yeah, as I was saying, the Drogons, they're one of those teams. I mean, last season, they were sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard, and they've already shown such a great improvement coming into this season now. Sadly,
though, obviously Fainted, they've gone, but for Somalia, it's just not ideal at all for you because you lost Hanad. He was playing his 007 further away from the rest of you. You lost El Chapo when you were doing that push up into it. Zero was luckily able to hold on and do a bit of damage out towards him in order to make that very hard. And now we sit in a position where they only have 2 players to go throughout the rest of this lobby. Certainly not easy, certainly not nice to deal with. We look at the positions of where the teams sit right now, and this is one of the first times we've seen almost all teams that are still alive pretty much in the circle or close to the circle as can be. So plenty of space in there, a lot of opportunity and chance for them all. It's Potato, it's no McLaren, but it's something I'm a fan of. Getting on the bike, making some noise, you know, styling, looking pretty on it. Biker gang, here we go.
Yeah, man.
I couldn't really see Max on a bike, could you? You see Max as a bike type of dude?
I don't know, but I definitely am.
Yeah, well, come on, we're men. When you compare it to Max, like, he just wants to be in the safe, flashy car.
Superbike's the way to go, dude. Oh, grenades also the way to go, especially in the hand of Storm. Wow.
Well, Max is now raging at us. He's saying, I legit have man in my name. Come on. No, Max. You got to remember. Yeah, we are plus 30. You are still down there in the 20s. Doesn't directly mean you're a man just because you have it in your name. I could put Banks Boy in my name and it wouldn't really be the same, you know? Oh yeah, Max Boy works. Moist Max Boy. There we go. Moist Max Boy. I like this a lot. There we go. Community, we're changing it. It's just not Moist Max spam. This is still good spam. Moist Max. But if we do Moist Max Boy, I'm even happier. I love you guys for doing it and continue on to just poke fun at Max wherever we can. I like how I avoid all of this. Like, I just stay somehow being listened to. I don't know why anyone listens to me at this point.
It's the glasses.
There we go. Fake intelligence. I've been doing that my entire life.
Well, you said it, so it must be true.
Oh, come on, how many times have I had to ask you for tech help? You're like my tech guru, and I'm like, I'm pressing buttons, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we won't talk about it. It's you know, it's just it's one of those things. But I gotta say, I mean, this is the tension in this game is really starting to build. Here's another one of those skins that Max is looking for, the truck. Very, very nice to see the players showing it off. And I mean, RRAGE and Drogons still holding up onto the edge of the trifecta here. I'm curious to see where this next shift is going to take the teams, though, because we've got so many teams in strong positions. I think regardless of where this next phase goes, whoever's in that zone, they're going to find themselves in a golden position.
Exactly that. It's the waiting game of how it all pans out. And we're just seeing it, right? A lot more patience from the teams. A lot more holding back for now, not taking out too many of these risks. 4KT find themselves in boot camp right now as well, just to keep an eye on them alongside Lag. Obviously enough room for these teams to be close enough in a position like that. But this change, this hit is going to be the one that really gives us a good understanding of what could be going down. And we will see. Ooh, okay. Potential for a boot camp ending for sure. Most of the water is now cut off. Very unlikely we'll get the bridge ending, which is completely fine. I'm all down for that, especially because it is Sanhok coming into play. The south side certainly going to be a little bit more contested, as well as that western front as well, where KHK and MZR will eventually roll their way through. But the teams already inside it up in this north part. No other teams to roll by. No one else to try and fight their way in. So this space will be grabbed. And obviously these compounds will be eaten up very quickly by the rest of the teams. They will grab their spots where they may be able to feel some comfort. Of how long that comfort will last? Well, that's another thing. More teams will want to fight. More teams will want to get involved. As you mentioned it a little bit earlier on, that Rila Insider had already lost one of their players coming into it. And INF are now taking it on to Mezexis. And Mezexis, right, this is the day they need things to really start to go their way again. They need to find some success because they do want to challenge to be up there amongst the best teams and potentially to try and win the whole split.
Yeah, it'd be quite impressive to have a back-to-back run into, you know, a back-to-back victory on PMCO Africa. But it is going to be quite the fight. I mean, none of these teams sitting in those high positions are willing to relinquish those the potential for that top slot. And I mean, just look at that. You can see KHK sitting on 87, Slime on 62, Tempo on 41, and Mezexis on 33. I mean, they're so close. 1 or 2 potential strong games could definitely change that up. And Mezexis Matrix, yep, a big woo as he finds himself in quite the predicament.
Oh no. Good position for INF to be able to shoot from. Pyro's even picked apart as well. More of them dropping down, and INF, they're larger in charge, rushing on down. Still keeping their eyes open, looking around to see what other teams might be there. Matrix is backing out of it, and Pyro's going to be left alone to die. Now that car in front of him, that's definitely the Tesla, right? That's definitely the one that looks...
One of them, yeah, the Tesla truck.
The Tesla truck, that's in play. Pyro might not be in play for much longer, though. These nades are going to go on up. And they will try and flush him out.
Thanks, Max. Autocorrect coming in. That's the Cybertruck. There we go.
It looks like it's like a version of a Batmobile trying to be cool, heavily armored. Luckily, it doesn't give him any more benefit, you know, that it is actually armored. Otherwise, you see lots of teams rolling for that and running on forward.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty cool. I mean, like when the reveal came in, it was quite entertaining to watch, but what's also quite entertaining is this assault now happening on the Drogons as MZR look to move in, just quickly, swiftly dealing with them. But RRAGE also right there on the edge, a little bit of pre-fire, Nero trying to get it in. Oh, yes, he gets it frozen. It's taken right on down, but JR also gets knocked. Quite a bit of pre-fire, Zero takes even more hits. Nero
nearly down to 0 is going to be the main thing. He's got just a sliver of health. I was popped the first aid, but another nade comes out and he's straight back down, struggling as Dan is there out towards the back lines of it all. But can they provide any cover fire for Nero to run around? He wants to try and escape. Finds himself a wall to hide behind, ducks on down. He's got an energy drink, but he's got no meds left to play with here. There is a huge risk, even if Dan and Shecky Boy can provide the cover fire he needs. This is not going to be an easy escape for him. The circle's moved out. Bootcamp is not in play anymore. Painan is. Just about. A very open area to fight from. Still some teams now having to work their way in from this eastern side. The northern teams will now have to finally move as well. As RRAGE will just have one player in Akina, looking to do some more damage, looking to do some potential deaths to the other teams and grab a few more points if possible. We're still with 15 teams in the lobby, despite some being heavily wounded with just a couple of players alive. They hear him. They're waiting for it.
Hear the dramatical music.
There we go. Akina tries to go into the water. RRAGE were ready and waiting for him. We started to have some Jaws-style music, but it wasn't the jaws of a shark that got him. It was the players shooting on down. As we see 4KT find themselves in the kill feed. A bit of back and forth going in there, though. They're taking on INF right now. There's Rila Insider, quite close range to BlackJack Esports, who had a good opening game in terms of points they could grab. Looking to continue that on further forward as INF will be the next team down and out. And now the carnage does start to begin. More teams unable to stay on their feet, and that's really well handled there. 3 kills found for BlackJack Esports. Rila Insider are down, and they only had 1 player knocked, which means they can keep themselves safe and stand back up with 4 players to fight with.
Yeah, a really strong showing coming in there from BlackJack. And now Gun all right here alongside the players from Aphelion Apex. The shots come through. The players start to drop. Nerfme gets down. It's up to Pounds now to try and bring it in for Gun. Will we see the clutch come through Pounds now? Just trying to get that free fire. The door gets broken down. A nice spray comes in as Kage gets knocked though. But who's going to be able to get it as Gun get eliminated, and it is down and out for them. Oh, going out in that 12th position, but the chaos is not going to stop anytime soon. The Drogons now being the next target here.
Only 1 player left as well. Quickly dealt with. 6 found now for MZR. Beautiful take up into that. There was only a few Drogons players left. They've been having that battle between each other for quite some time. Managed to cross over the water, and now they need to go a little bit further up this hill and find themselves into the zone. But look who is sat in a prime position. Slime 4KT up high, looking to see if any players will be spotted out. Vex seems to have the good information. Storm further forward, but he does need to be cautious there. Zero spraying on down to him. He luckily prones in the nick of time and won't find himself being knocked. But Slime holding this position is going to be absolutely key.
Oh, nice spray down coming in there from Vex. Just so on point with it.
No
lag. Come on.
Big damage. Not quite finding the knock. Zero, no hope of getting out of that one. KHK are looking to try and pick some of these kills off at the same time. Lag working their way up, getting quite close to 4KT here. But still, they don't really have the advantage in this fight. Blue is heavily on the back of them. They will start off by getting the knock. How much more can be done? Pronto spraying on out. At phase 5, you can't take too much damage from this, and that's now 8 kills found for 4KT. And Pronto, he can't stay up in it any longer. They were too far away, and that's 2 players knocked in the blue, taking tons of damage here for 4KT, and they may have spent too much time looking to fight on top of that hill. AIM has made it out, and he needs to make sure Storm is there as well if they do want to be able to challenge in this, because there's still some very healthy teams within inside this lobby.
Yeah, I mean, Young Thunder, they just got themselves beautifully set up on the southern edge of zone. They do have that pressure coming in from BlackJack over on towards that eastern front. And, I mean, the Beast, he's now the last hope for the grenades are getting sent on through. Young Thunder knows exactly where he is. They're just patiently waiting for that opportunity to strike. But meanwhile, the players here from Young Thunder, they're going to look to just ward off that advance coming in from BlackJack. But, I mean, BlackJack, they're still sitting on a full squad. They're trying to inch their way back up into zone. It's going to be quite a bit of a fight. And there we go. The Beast gets eliminated as the spray comes through from Young Thunder. But now Cheddar looking to find that opening into G3. who's also trying to still push into zone, but the grenades are let loose. Young Thunder, here we go. Romeo sends it over, just overshoots a slight tad bit. But Reverb on the money with that grenade. Let's see what it is. The one to find the spot. Oh, no recoil. Almost getting down, but Angie does get knocked out.
There is not much room for these teams to move in. There's not much cover they can find. Having to look absolutely everywhere for now. Buden, his position's been spotted out. The blue's coming in, and it's going to be tagging them up very heavily here. Blackjack Esports also coming under fire while the blue takes over them. That's going to see at least some of them potentially knocked down here. Oh, by the looks of it, very low on health. They just cheddar. He literally just survived in that. Now the new circle pops. It's very good for Young Thunder. But the rest of the team's got to try and work their way in. True playing from the side. Got the ghillie suit on as well. He's the one that can take them more of a risk here. Be further out in the open. 11 players here, DK, and only 5 teams in it. Slime and KHK with 1 each. KHK still with 3 points. The placement points here is going to be absolutely huge, but Aimer is able to do some more damage. Six God jumps up and finds himself a kill onto the final Blackjack Esports player. G3 with 4 players still in it, but Young Thunder with the position to fight from. Aimer has been spotted out, and he's just healing his way through as long as possible with this. Surviving longer than KHK is crucial for these guys if they want to have a chance of jumping up further.
I mean, Lewis, he's also just all the way over on towards that bridge. He's just chilling out in the blue zone. And, I mean, the zone fight is between Young Thunder and G3, trying to bring it in. But now this is do or die time. G3 looking pretty golden, sitting on 8 kills. The side of Young Thunder sitting on 6. But with that, 1 player gets down. Did 4KT get eliminated? 3 teams remain. Oh!
These placement points are going to be huge for KHK. He's just healing out as long as possible in the blue. Will eventually die, but it'll be a 3rd place. And they are just 3 points behind what Slime achieved in this game. That still puts KHK well in the lead in the finals with 2 more matches for them to go. G3 now looking to try and find this win, but Young Thunder having to push on forward. Don't want to expose themselves too much, and they're quickly proning down. But the nades start to come out, and they can't be clipped by these. They're not that spread just yet. G3 certainly have a better angle to fight from. True's been seen. It's easy for Buden. No problem at all. 2 more to find, and, well, as he gets flipped by the flames at the same time, Buden will quickly eliminate him. Romeo pops up but goes straight back down, and G3 temper a 27-point game here on Sanhok. Played very well at the end as Young Thunder were forced to push out the blue on their backs, and they were not able to capitalize on the good position they had for quite some time.
I mean, that was such a tough play to just try and bring that in, but a really well-deserved winner chicken dinner coming in there for the side of G3. And I mean, it's been quite a bit of waiting to see them actually step up and bring in their second chicken dinner. And just looking at the points, it is looking pretty healthy, especially for Temper. But I mean, still 4KT and KHK finishing strong on some decent points.
Oh, yeah, really solid stuff there, right? Once again from KHK, managing to just outlast in terms of the placement points, making sure this gap was not too huge. For 4KT, they needed a little bit more than what they did. It's an even 8-8 split on the placement and kill points coming into it, but I'll still see them with a hell of a lot to do across 2 games if they want to take this first place away from KHK. And right now, with how these games are going down, how many teams are also giving it their all, DK, right, to try and jump up and not just get a better placement, but in terms of getting more prize money out of the bag here. There is so many of these teams that need points that are just now minimal to find in these final 2 games. This is where it gets real crazy. And you see how stacked it was at the top, that hardly any of these teams in the bottom points were able to really make any changes to where they sit.
Man, it has been absolutely brutal. As you said, you know, we were expecting the second match to be pretty crazy in comparison to the first one. And yes, it was a little bit more of a calculated play, but at the end, moving into these final few phases, these final few zones, it was just pure insanity moving in. And as a result, you know, it was pretty tough for the teams to finish in the placement points in which they would have liked to get. But again, KHK coming in with that ever lovely hill strat, as we always see on Sanhok.
Oh, yes, it's the one we know and maybe don't love when it comes to Sanhok, but it comes into play a lot. But DK, this was your final game to cover of the Championship Sunday. Is there anything you want to say, mate, before you go? Because it's been a absolute pleasure commentating with you over these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just want to give a huge thank you, or say a big thank you to the production team. It has been an absolute blast. A huge shout out to both you and our lovely friend, Mr. Moist Max, who's about to replace me there. But yeah, it has been an absolute blast, an absolute honor to be casting alongside you guys. And yeah, I'm so proud of what this Africa scene is evolving into. And man, I'm so proud to be part of this.
Oh, yes, that's certainly what we love to hear and see. DK, thank you so much. We're kicking it to a break, and when you come back, it's the final 2 games, and Moist Mac will be back.
5. Cooldown to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
It's Championship Sunday, and we're down to the final 2 games. We've said goodbye to Donkey Kong, and we've brought back in Moist Max for the final 2 games. And Max, how are you feeling? Because you get some Miramar once again. It must be your lucky day.
Hello, James Banks. I hope you're doing good. Stop calling me Moist Max, and also stop making fun of the fact that I do not have a Tesla or a McLaren. Thank you very much. Oh, that was very straining. There you go. Yeah, Miramar, good.
You've been working on that, mate. I can see you're trying to fire back a little bit. But, you know, chat know best. I know best. Moist Max is how it will be forever.
It's going to remain like that. I think, you know what? I'm okay with it. I think I've embodied the meme now. It required like 10 days of PMCO. It doesn't impact me anymore. So thank you, chat. Appreciate you guys. And thank you, James.
We love you for it, you know. But we do also love ourselves some Miramar madness, which is where we're going to next. And right now, look at the points we have here. KHK are well and truly in the lead. And they've not needed to pop off massively today, right? They've just been staying close or ahead of Slime 4KT. When you look at Erangel, slightly ahead, then only a few points behind going into Sanhok. Slime, they need to bring a massive win up, especially if they don't also want to be overtaken here by G3 Temper at this point.
Yeah, off the back of that win we just saw on Sanhok, G3 Temper are definitely closing that gap in big ways. When you're looking at Mezexis, Young Thunder, not really going to be a threat for the top 3 positions, so now it's going to be a fight between those top 3 squads in these last 2 games. Then onto the second page. It's good to see, I would say, James, that we are seeing some clear movement from Gun in these games, especially off the back of that first win on the first game. But hoping, of course, to see them back in the next PMCO in the spring split 2022 is going to be. I think that Gun is a team that we need to see be a lot more consistent heading into it, because I think that nobody really expected them to be solo in the standings. So we know they can do a lot. We know they can bring greatness to their own games, but of course, you can't always be on top of your game. And this time, it just seemed like Gun struggled a little bit more than others.
Certainly, but when you talk about greatness, well, greatness comes from being born to win. As we welcome you to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gaming mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones. And the Reno 5 series is certainly something that will help you dominate, own it up, and destroy your opponents in the lobby. And that's what our teams are looking to do, destroy all the opponents they can on this Miramar match, as we get a slightly to the west plane path. Not really the end of the world when it comes into play. But Max, this is the final time, and I don't want the island finish. I'm just going to relax, let it all chill, you know, and we'll get some normal Miramar madness to go down.
I'm trying to go for reverse psychology here and say you don't. Okay. Yeah, of course, I'm hoping to not have the island finish there. Oh, damn.
This is why I don't give you Miramar. This is why you do not get Miramar. DK understands what we're going for. You're just like, you're trying. Yep, that's it. Just say it into the world.
I'm a simple. I'm a simpleton. Okay, I am very simple-minded. I am simple boy, and that is what I do. Okay, it's fine. Like, for example, I went in a chat and I was like, I'm going to talk with the community and people in chat and have a little bit of a fun interaction. What happens? Someone asked me which team you think is going to be first. I said Slime 4KT, and I had like 3 people outright just say, "Please shut up. you're going to curse them. I'm like, okay, nobody wants me to be on this show anymore. I have the impression. But then they said, I'm sorry,
teams.
love you.
Yeah,
they were
you've
nice.
cursed teams, you know, you've been the moist maker of it all. And, you maybe didn't curse my ending. By the way, we have seen this circle at least
so often.
4 times. Yeah, like almost exactly the same one. But what we haven't seen is too many early fights going down, and that's what we're going to see between MZR and Lag right now. Already 1 kill going the way of MZR. Lag going to find leader the one to be diminished early on in this one. And they do need to be careful if they want to stick around and still fight this out, or if they want to maybe back away and live to fight another day. How would you play it on out, Max? Do you want to be hanging around for a fight like this straight at the beginning?
Nah, you want to avoid it, because I think there's many people that might be watching this and saying, oh, we know these teams are going to make it into the PMPL. They don't really care anymore. Well, there's many reasons why you should care. Number one, because you never know what might happen in the future. Because of your performances in these finals, in these games right now, you might get picked up by an org or another team later on down the line. So every, at least official game, is very important to play to its maximum potential. So this fight, because of that, doesn't make too much sense, especially knowing it's Miramar. You want to avoid that at all cost. But also, James, you got a big difference in terms of prize pool in the rankings. You just get yourself an extra 1, 2, 3 positions up, and that's an extra few $100 coming your way. We'll have to see, of course, if they can make it come to fruition. Though Power is going to get chased on down by Team Somalia. Not going to go the entire extent, though. They hear the footsteps. They hear that Power's trying to make his way, trying to make his escape become a reality, and he will be able to make it a little bit further out. But unfortunately, making it towards his team is still no easy feat to achieve, as he has to try and keep on running further.
Yeah, he will just about be able to escape for now. His teammates are further split away from him. Somalia again playing the 3-1 setup. And Nad just likes to do his own thing, you know. He really is on the 007 vibes of it all, like we said earlier. But he does leave himself open to potentially be exposed in that one. Zero certainly heard him, and they want to play a bit of the third-person perspective to hopefully try and grab their eyes on each other and see where they may be sat for now. But overall, this is just a fight waiting to happen. We had a full lobby. All players made it in. 1 had already gone down. We saw leader fall at the very beginning. But for now, everyone else stays healthy. And Power still running around down there. Wasn't able to be picked off.
Oh,
but I like this from MZR. Yeah, this is nice. Clutcher in a good spot.
They really have the intention to just suffocate the entirety of Lag, which is a good plan, to be honest, when you're looking at MZR and where they're currently standing in 12th place. And we talked about it too. In terms of prize pool, this team has the potential to drop, I would say, 4 or 5 positions if they do well in these 2 last games. That's a really big jump up in terms of overall prize pool. So they got a plan in mind. They're not going out without actually trying to put a little bit of fight into it. They want to go out with an absolute bang. And we talked about that position of Clutcher being absolutely key. Hits a headshot right off the bounce of Fantasy. Now as Berserk and Zero having to defend in a 2v4, that is not going to be an easy fight, James.
Yeah, this push coming in is exactly the way they wanted to play it out. Lag doing their best.
Yes.
Berserk got the high ground, starts off strong onto 1. Then he's got a player shooting him in the back. Turpis finds himself going down as well. Clutcher trying to get involved, but look at Lag. They're dealing with it 1 by 1, but it just wasn't enough. No eliminations do go forward from Team Lag, getting themselves a pick-off. But that was a very well-held fight. And with Gun turning up now, they heard the party, and they want to try capitalize on this. They can get set up here and have a good look in if they do wish. But maybe they think, do we actually want to engage in this now that fight's already taken place? So we're basically turning it into a straight 1v1 team fight.
Yeah, I think they had the idea of going for it, but they might have thought we arrived a little bit too late. They might have had enough time to go for the rares, go for the first aid kit. Going into a fight like that in the unknown is just so risky, and Gun are not going to risk losing anymore. Of course, they are a team that's also in a similar position to MZR, where they want to try and get as much prize pool in their pocket as possible, so not worth it. If you have an early fight like that, you want to avoid it as much as humanly possible. Though, Team Somalia have been pretty proactive here, trying to move forward. Nice grenade will do a little bit of damage on one of the players. But these 2 teams have a big front line, which is good to defend, but it's not great to push. So that means teams aren't going to go on the offensive until a knock or 2 are found minimum. Until then, these 2 teams are going to be in a standoff, or until a team decides to just completely leave. So I wouldn't see a push happen anytime soon unless, you, as I said, 1 knock comes in minimum.
Yeah, the waiting game on who might make a mistake. For now, there's a lot of different spots Somalia need to be careful of. It's hard to directly see who has an advantage in this. The Somalia players are closer together. Maybe that can benefit them. But FEINTED, being more spread out, can see the greater distances of where the players may be coming from. Chapo, as soon as you poke up, they know exactly where you are, buddy. Power does get tagged up slightly. Beast now going to be on the floor, and straight away they finish him off. Fainted. That's exactly the start they would have wanted here. But it's now not trying to risk it too far further forward with this, you know. Still hold on to your positions. You know where a couple of players are.
But look at the minimap. There's a player Fainted that's getting for a wide rotation over to the western side. And he's just trying to wrap around, potentially get himself a nice off angle into the arena, where currently all the players are standing in there on the opposite side of Somalia. So one player breaches it properly, gets a good off angle. That is the entire position just completely denied away. And that's going to be Leonidas actually on the mission, trying to take that little bit of an angle. Fortunately, not able to find any knocks just yet. And we are seeing the kill feed light up in big ways. Rila Insider suffering some casualties to the hand of Aphelion Apex. Remember, we'll be able to make it out, but down to just 1/3 HP. And now we move away, and Gun are going to suffer some casualties. Buden of G3 will pick it up. And this is a team, James, that needs so many extra points to catch up. The Slime 4KT and even KHK, they need an absolute banger in these last two games.
And the fact they're coming off the back of a Sanhok win might be something that motivates them and spurs them on. As they eliminate that one player on Gun, don't look to try and achieve any more in this, and will just back away. Every little extra point they can grab, they're going to be happy with. As we see Leonidas out there knocking a Team Somalia player, so that means that Fainted are still able to fight with success in this one. The G3 players are now going to all meet up and find themselves in a spot where they can be comfortable as a full squad here now. As Leonidas, you said about him coming out wide on these guys, but he's found a hell of a lot of success of it, slowly but surely picking them off, picking them apart. Only Hanad remains. He's up against 4 players of Fainted. If he can even find himself one, that's going to be huge. But ultimately, he can hear what's going on around him. That's a lot of footsteps. That's something to be scared of. Maybe he can try and fight back against one of them, depending on how split up the Fainted players do decide to put themselves. And Hanad, he sees it all. He's waiting for it. Zero going to be the player to come on out towards him. Tries to use it to his advantage, but it won't work out. He's overwhelmed. He's run on down. And Somalia will be your first team being finished off here on Miramar.
Yeah, Leonidas on that off angle, absolute stonks of a position, made it definitely worth their time. Really good execution too at the end there, got himself a nice 4-man push, and we'll see if they can try and get himself into the circle unscathed, as we do see the circle move away over to the eastern coastal line. La Bandita still in play. Would be great to see a circle finish over there. I think it's a really good showcase of how teams adapt to this map of Miramar. But G3 right off the bat, we've seen them be in dead center. This might be a back-to-back win for them. Can G3 pull a G3 once again? We'll have to see.
Oh, yeah.
Aphelion Apex got himself a good position here. I love these rocky terrain, but unfortunately did suffer 2 losses. And that is going to be hurting him a lot. This position is so hard to hold on to as a 2-man. You want to have 3 players minimum to have full information coming your way. Going to be pretty hard. And Rila Insider now has the intel, and they might want to just push away the entirety of Aphelion Apex, because this is in circle. They might be thinking this is actually worth the effort.
And a spot they could quite easily take away. Okay. He wants to find his way up there further. He'll at least make a lot of noise of it. Rila Insider will know exactly what's going on, what he's up to. But like you mentioned, hard for Aphelion Apex to hold on to with just 2 players in here. But even in Rila Insider, get it, they only have 3 themselves. They've the 2 teams that have both suffered casualties. As we see Buden, Sully's been able to knock him down. G3 do not want to be losing any players this early on. They want to keep the full squad going, but it's a straight finish off. That means another player will fall, more players will find themselves without full squads to fight alongside. As oh no. A little
bit too slippery there.
And we saw it. Yeah, the slippery slopes. Not a moist map, it's a hot one, but you know, you could have sweaty hands as you're trying to hold on to the cliff. And sometimes you just fall on down, you can't hang on, and Bleston now just gonna sit down there on his own and think, well, my goal is to just stay alive as long as possible. Hopefully they'll leave me alone.
Oh wow. Okay, you're gonna have a bit of action unfolding here. Slime 4KT versus RRAGE. RRAGE, as you know, not really in the race for the top, so this is a very important fight for Slime 4KT. That cannot afford to take an L right now. Though, Storm got himself a good off angle, but unfortunately he might not have too much intel. Paolo, though, if he goes a little bit wider, that could be worthwhile. Gonna peek through the window. Slayer P, that's big. Now the nades are gonna explode. trying to get himself more, but Slime 4KT finding a way to respond, but they have no idea what to do now.
This could be sealing their fate. RRAGE could be putting the hurt onto 4KT in a way that they were not ready for. Frozen the perfect time. Then he gets shot in the back, but it's not going to work out. 4KT have been overwhelmed and run on down. Bit by bit, they start to fall and storm. He is nowhere near to try and help them out. He's getting the hell out of there and hoping for the placement points as shots are delivered onto his vehicle. He's running on out of the blue, trying to stay up in it, but he needs to be careful wherever he goes. He needs to be silent. He needs to be sneaky.
Objective right now for Storm is to survive as long as possible, to not allow KHK Esports to build a even bigger lead. The lead is already pretty huge, right? You're going to need a big game to catch up to them. If he dies right now, it is pretty much game over. You'll not be able to take first place away from KHK unless they die in a very similar moment. So that is the objective for him. He's going to play the game of survival. Plaza, though, from Gun, they've been losing player one by one. It's been pretty hard so far. They are down to 3. It could get even worse for them as Plaza just completely split away from the rest of his team, and Matrix and Mercury might just go for the off angle, and that will be a very, very dead extra player for Gun. Circle's going to move and back over to the coastal line. Okay, this is not fun for these teams.
Oh my. That's easily what? 30% water in there still?
Yeah.
On a shift like that, that's less than ideal. Gun find himself taking yet another casualty in this one. Just nerf me and pounds left up in it. It has not been the prettiest of finals for these guys at all. Just like this circle right now that these teams will be rushing on into. Whoever can get that coastal line first and hold on to it might be in a great position to potentially take this game. This is going to be a very hard one to call. This is going to be non-stop fighting once we get to the next phase.
Oh, it dissipates. Oh, shoot under the car. They're going to shoot under the car. There's no way. Pop the wheels if you can, Pound. Don't even know if it's a real car or not, but might be able to spot it if he just stops moving too much. There's G3 moving in the background. Not really too interested in these kills, of course. This is another team in a race for the top. They want to catch up to Slime 4KT and KHK. But can we agree? I think we can agree on this one, James, and everyone in chat too. I think that the big surprise of the finals here have been Mezexis. Very clearly. They did such a strong performance at one point. It has been absolutely insane. And yeah, I would definitely say the Mezexis has been the big dark horse team of this entire finals. And I want to see more of them. Hopefully in the next PMCO, if we're offered to cast again, which hopefully will be the case. But I want to see their evolution, I would say, over time. I think that this team has a lot of potential that has yet to really be shown to the bigger audience.
Yeah, 2 big wins yesterday. Saw them jump right up on the overall leaderboard. KHK, a team that also can't suffer going down. They actually get run on over here by FEINTED, who are up at 5 kills in this. And FEINTED 16th, KHK first. KHK losing a player here. Not what they would have wanted at all. The players were slightly split up. And if you're KHK now, surely you just don't even try and fight them on this one. It's not worth the risk. There we go. Look at the finals rankings of where we sit right now. This is the current points that you see for the teams in it.
I thought you became British for a second there.
I am British.
In it? Yeah, I don't know. Like just with a full-on accent for a second. I don't know.
Just became it, you know, the whole time.
Yeah, you were not before. Nah. You were James Banks before.
Oh, okay.
Now you're British.
Now I'm proper British, mate. Now I'm allowed to be myself.
Oh, yeah. A recoil. May suffer a little bit of damage there. The car definitely going to be taking a little bit of a hit. But why are they not going out of the car? You already got shot. Get out of the car. You need to get out of those early. You know, recoil going to be suffering the wrath of Blackjack Esports, though. Another team's going to go for a sneaky off-angle third-party fight. So now they're going to retreat inside, and the circle, is it going to go back towards the water? I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but at the same time, I kind of want to. Okay, I'm not going to jinx it. We're fine. We're good. I'm going to go back over to the western side. All of the water is now out of play. But this terrain is also not friendly. Where you want to hold on to is, of course, going to be the northern side. That's where all the high ground position is. And down south is going to be a few little compounds, a few little buildings to play around, and mostly just absolutely flat terrain. So you've got to be very careful how you move around, or otherwise your team might just get squad wiped in mere fraction of a second.
And poor Storm from 4KT is all alone still in a vehicle, the furthest player south at the moment. Not having the best time, hoping to stay alive for as long as possible. Much like Romeo's trying to do as these shots come out towards him, as Blackjack Esports have certainly started to perform much better, at least here today, than what we've seen throughout the rest of the finals. KHK still coming up in this kill feed here, willing to fight, despite not having the numbers in it. They lost a player just earlier on. Rila Insider's Coco, who's leading the charge alongside Leonidas right now with 3 within this match. I just
Can't see on the
believe
minimap
it.
right now. The Drogons are picking up such a good position up on the northern eastern side. It is so strong. Especially with seeing the playing path that was very western, right? And this is how you read circles typically. You had a very western playing path. You know that because of this circle, you're going to have a big concentration of teams on the south and also onto the more western edge of the circle. East is basically free, which is why it's very smart to see teams like Drogons and also RRAGE going for the wide rotate to try and avoid as much fighting and action as possible. This is very big brain from these two teams. I'm really enjoying it, but of course we'll see if the circle in the next phase is going to be very friendly or is going to be pretty harsh against them.
Well, just to let you know as well, the Drogons, mate, when the circle still had water included, they took the coastline before any other team. They were ready and willing in case it went there to fight. So Drogons have been trying to 900 IQ it. Young Thunder, on the other hand, will find themselves losing Romeo here. Blackjack Esports quickly overrun him. True wanted to provide a bit of cover fire. But we see some nasty shots being landed. Well, maybe not, because more shots come out back towards him and there's smoke being put down there.
Not too easy. This is what we talked about, right? In terms of terrain, it is so flat, it is so hard. If you are dealing with a team that has a very good advantage point, you're going to struggle. Like on your right, you have so many teams that are looking so comfortable. Vile is instantly going to get his head blown off. That's an unfortunate run of events. Blackjack are thinking, how the hell do we get away from this one? If they lose their cars, this is pretty much GG. There's no way out without a vehicle. Oh, nice trick shot. He tried. Okay.
Imagine if he pulled it off. We'd be losing our minds right now.
I've never seen a trick shot, like no scope from over 100 feet. I've never seen that yet. So, hey, maybe they'll make that change today. That'll be great. Or KHK.
Possible. It's always possible. Trip's been spotted there by Pennywise, but also the shots coming out towards them. We can't risk it yet. He can't quite jump on over. It wasn't Rila that was shooting at him, though. Was that
MZR,
Drogons? Oh, it was MZR, okay.
Yeah, MZR looking good, though. They got the strongest position dead center, so they can just absolutely spray as much as they want on all the teams around them. So, yeah, I mean, they spotted KHK trying to get as much damage as possible. That's what you want to see. Oh, the Dragons are trying to gatekeep away the side of RRAGE, which is definitely strong. You want to see that happen, but RRAGE apparently closed their gap way too much, and that's it for the Dragons as they get absolutely overcome by the competition. RRAGE now going to go for the res, and they got a strong position depending on where the circle goes. Well, I'll take that one back. Strong position is going to be over to where MZR currently stand, and Blackjack Esports has a very strong entry point. If they can get to the west and get a few good amount of dips and divots to play from, this has a potential of being Blackjack Esports game.
Where does Rila, FEINTED, and KHK want to go from here? Because they've all got to travel. FEINTED, they're just going to jump in their vehicles very quickly, but they need to be careful of the shots that are coming through. Nicely done here, easily found, and okay, FEINTED, I know you needed to get across, but like you didn't even try putting smoke down and do anything too crazy. Coco just got to rip two of you apart in seconds there. Wasn't even a challenge. Dizzy now out in the open as well. FEINTED one by one are falling and being picked apart. Coco just going to go in and confirm it. It's no problem at all. And FEINTED are the next team to fall. No rotation coming in from them.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you smoke your car before you start picking up some speed, some momentum to make sure you can't get shut down that quickly. That was a very easy kill for Rila Insider, and they just picked them up one by one so damn easily. KHK, though, now thinking, what plan do we go for? Do we defend behind us, gatekeep this team away, and then start moving in, or do we move in early? Seem like they want to defend. Rila Insider going to be spotted away. Coco will be the first casualty. And they're going to go and confirm that kill instantly. That's an extra point. They need them right now to retain their first place and make sure they cannot get contested away by side of Slime 4KT or even G3 Temper that were starting off relatively strong in this game. RRAGE now going to be breaching inside the compound of MZR, and everyone is getting knocked down as Turpitz needs to clutch it up.
Oh, this is not going to be easy at all. 7 kills already for RRAGE.
Oh.
Good damage coming on through. MZR get eliminated next. Rila Insider have now pulled up, though, and they may have pulled up at a good timing here. Whether they know how many players are on the floor and what's going on around them, RRAGE need to be careful and get themselves back into some sort of security. Facility going to be used. All the energy drinks, painkillers, whatever else you got at this point.
10 kills.
When you've been fighting.
Whoa. Okay. They're having an Absolutely awesome game this time. Beautiful performance. And they still, especially having 10 kills and still having 4 players, that's insane when you really think about it. They took so many fights and still up as a 4-man crew. Okay, KHK. I mean, they might be able to get more on KHK. KHK are just stranded. There's no easy escape. Pennywise gets absolutely blown up to smithereens. Hopefully he can be brought back to life by Lewis, but the continuous spray and pressure coming out from all the teams around is making it hard. Slow P, that nade, yes! Could be a banger, but doesn't quite hit. And Trip will just remain in the building, chilling for now. But that nade, that's not going to be a chill one, as he's going to be knocked. And they are going to breach it inside. They want to confirm those kills. Frozen will be the one to connect it at the end. Now Zeke is trying to remain undetected. He's got the off angle, but takes the spray and now given his position away.
There's no one in the new circle that's just popped either here, Max. Everyone is going to have to fight for a little bit of space in it. But everyone is already fighting at this point. They've kind of forgotten about KHK in the meantime. Zeke wants to try and hold on. But maybe this is where KHK can get away while the other teams are busy.
Not easy.
Still there as well. Already made it to top 6, not fighting it out. Blacko hitting not too far away from him.
He got in the back of the truck. Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, that's big. If he doesn't get spotted away and teams move in front of him, he could just get so many kills. Okay, smoked it. Okay, now you got spotted away. Which is also a pretty good idea, is make sure that you're not going to be that easy to nade, but still at the end is not going to be too good. Storm's got to be careful as Blackjack are now trying to move into the circle. Trying to dodge those bullets. Dance for me, boy. Makes it out, but Storm now in a reticle. Flacco. Wait for that smoke to dissipate, and that is going to be an instant kill.
Blackjack Esports looking to finish off RRAGE here. They know they're coming through these smokes. They want to see what they can find. KHK still having to work their way down. One by one, they're looking to push on forward, but they have plenty of shots come out towards them. It's Storm trying to fight for his life, trying to live as long as possible, but it's Flacco in the 1v1 that will win it on out, and that puts them further behind KHK, who are still in this lobby and are still fighting. Yes, they've only got 3 players, and yes, they're fighting from a difficult spot, but the fact that they keep finishing above Slime is almost sealing it.
Yeah.
The KHK will be winning this championship.
Not even that, G3 Temper are still in this game. So they could be pushed down in 3rd place after this game if G3 can get some more points. So this is actually horrendous for them. Frozen another big nade. This guy is just on point with the utility today. He gets himself another one. KHK down to 2 players. Jairbot and Pennywise. We'll see if they can try and spook the enemies away. As the circle's looking amazing for Gun. They're on the other edge, completely uncontested, and sprinted down on the opponents all around them. Pennywise gets his head blown right off. That's another great knock, and man, what an absolute game here for RRAGE, as they're still looking so strong in this finish with 4 players alive.
He's anything but frozen right now. He's heating up and he's lighting it up. That's 7 kills out of the 15 his whole team have managed to achieve. And Frozen is just going in for more. He's hungry to rip up more teams in this lobby and gain his team some money. Frozen straight out into the fight. MG tries to probe, but it's not working out for him. Another knock comes on through. Frozen looking to do damage, but the car is absolutely destroyed. And Blackjack Esports will hold on for now.
Oh my god, that was absolute hell that was unleashed on this game. G3 Temper get eliminated in 4th. 16 kills. Not going to go for the nade. He's going to go for the Thompson. Random spray, but unfortunately he doesn't know that there is actually a party bus inside, just giving absolute insane coverage to the team. Does pick up one. Gets prone in time, but Zane fights back. Didn't have the time to get the res on his teammate though. Wisco is still going to be bleeding to his death, and he will be confirmed away by his bleeding. RRAGE now thinking to move out. Akina and Slayer P might want to try and finish that fight, but their focus should be also on that circle. What thing do you want to do first? Take the fight or move in circle?
And meanwhile, Gun with 2 players alive are in the circle, full control, waiting for all of this to go on. The Revive's going to try and come through. They're sticking very close to each other, but Pound, he's come through. He's ripping out some of the players from Blackjack Esports. Slay might try and play off the edge on this. Runs on round, starts to see him, takes the shots. Will go in for the kills, and nicely done. Zane's still there, though. Is he completely aware?
Oh, nade?
Nade's going to go on up. Cooked it nicely.
Oh, yes.
One not come through, but not a kill onto Slay just yet. Zane needs to be so careful. He starts to loot up a bit further here. Slay looking to push forward, jumps on up, shots come through. That's 19 kills found already for Blackjack Esports, and top 2 guaranteed.
Gun have barely moved in this entire late game. Taking the shots. Where's the SLR? Nerf me's going to get it. Of course, this is the long range god. And Slayer P is going to be the next one in line. Doesn't matter. Take the SLR away. Give him the M4, and he's still going to get those long range knocks. There's only 1 player currently separates them away from their win here. Gun, can they make a big comeback here on these final 2 games? As Pala's got himself that little dip, which is big, and also with those boosts, he's going to be taking a lot of information away from Gun. Pala needs to take this 1v2 clutch. They're standing in 13th place, Gun. This will be huge for them too, but RRAGE with 19 kills, one more, and they get another 20-kill bomb.
This is a crazy game here. Rage, Frozen especially, was obviously able to just jump up and take so many kills, taking a lot of risks, but letting his team pick up the pieces behind him as well. Nice setup here from Gun. The car and tree for cover, just hiding behind each other. Can be effective. They both want to poke at the same time, depending what Pala wants to do here. But patience is what it's all going to be about. Gun, this should be your game to win.
Oh, they're all going to have to move out. The little high ground that Pala has is huge. And Gun has been smoking himself out for the longest time. If they're out of smokes, this is going to be so complicated and would give a living chance to Pala. And with that tree too, that could be big. He could get prone, get himself to spray, going to get up for pounds though.
Nerf me on the shots. He's going to looking to take the return fire. Nice damage being done.
My God.
He finds himself a knock onto one. Pala still got some health to work with, but he can't do it. Gun do get the win, but it's a 31-point game for Rage, even with a second place in there, Max. What a game of Miramar.
What an attempt from Pala. Really, he knew exactly what the attempt should have been. Get rid of the player that's trying to hold the angle while the other one is pushing. That is the first play you want to get rid of 100% of the time. It worked out great, but unfortunately suffered a little bit more damage in that trade-off, and then it just made it very easy for the remaining player to get himself that kill. But man, Gun, they had themselves, of course, a little bit of circle lock to be taken into account, but being able to hold that for that long is not an easy thing to achieve. Very important to keep in mind. But they do take home a 19-point game for themselves. 20 points over to KHK Esports. And RRAGE, 31 points. We almost had 2 games with 20 kills for one team throughout this entire PMCO. It is rare to see a singular one in an entire event. We almost had 2 here, James. That is absolutely insane.
Just the fact they got 19 without even the win in there, though, is huge. Right, 31 points. Massive for RRAGE. Definitely going to help them jump up on the overall leaderboard and take some more money away from these other teams and put it in their back pocket. The Slime, well, the best they could do was 4 placement points in the end from Storm, and I think that is a big GG on Storm having, Slime 4KT having a chance on getting that first place, because KHK continue not just to be the most consistent team in the lobby, but they look like the smartest ones overall in how they've been playing it out. Not just because of the amount of points they've got here, but they've been able to always make something work in their favor.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly how many points KHK got himself there, but I believe they died very shortly after Storm did go down. So it goes to show there's still a chance looking into the final game that we will see Slime 4KT still be on top, but that also does mean that G3 Temper getting a few extra points could also still be in the running. This is one of the moments, right, where it is very hard to predict, because it's literally down to the first 5-10 minutes to see if one of the big teams go down, and then we'll see how the unfolding is going to happen at the end. But yeah, KHK, Slime 4KT, G3 Tempers, these are now the 3 teams we're looking at to potentially be first at the end.
Well, let's see who will be taking that championship spot. We're going to our final break before the last game of our championship Sunday. Don't go anywhere. Get the snacks and drinks and whatever else you need, and hold on tight for the wild ride that'll be the final game of Erangel.
5. Cooldown to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Ten days of fierce and intense competition, starting with 32 teams, now whittled down to 16. And after this game, we will discover the final team who will be making it to the MEA Championship, who will be taking that first place home, Max, and grabbing themselves $4,000. We're going to take a look at the overalls and see if that has potentially already been decided. And okay, it's not impossible.
Whoa.
It's not impossible for either G3 or Slime to jump above KHK, but it would take KHK to have one of their worst performances ever to throw this one away. G3 up with 3 chicken dinners and yet still only just matched with 4KT. That Miramar game could have been the killer for Slime 4KT at the end of this, but Mezexis, they've fallen down a little bit. Blackjack Esports jumped on up. Money is still all to play for the other teams within this, but my oh my, KHK being the consistent placement point. Look at that, 120 placement points. It's insane, Max.
It is absolutely insane when you think about it. This team has just been so consistent, not really in terms of kills. Of course, their kills are still good. They're still one of the top kill, well, actually the kill leader of the lobby, which is fantastic. But overall, when you're looking at them, the main thing that KHK has compared to the other teams is even their bad games are technically good games. And that is what sets them so high up compared to the rest of the lobby. And when you look at teams like G3 or even Slime 4KT, sure, they have the good performances. But when you look at last game, Slime 4KT, only 4 points. Boom, that pushes them way, way back. So, of course, that is what's going to hurt them. We'll see how things are going to work out. And now on the second page, man, we might actually see Gun on this last game pushing herself on the front page, which would be amazing to see. Known they've been in 15th place for like the longest time since the Big Bang. They've been in 15th place until now. And
I got to say this, right? Drogons, I love you guys, but you are so unlucky in the sense that you got 2 chicken dinners in there, but you had so many of those games where it was like 0 points or not so many points at all. You're down in 15th right now. Boys, do something huge in this last game. Jump on up, grab a bit more money if you can.
When you look at the fact that they got himself 2 chicken dinners and their positioning points of 38, that means they only got 8 positioning points out of all the other games except those 2. It just goes to show for Drogons, there's something that's clearly not working right. There's something ticking pretty wrong on their side, and hopefully they can have time to watch back the VODs, hopefully to make things work out on their side. Though there's one thing that I want to say, and I'm hoping, I'm not saying this just for Dragons, I'm saying this also for all the other teams that are into this and maybe did struggle and find encounter some hardship at some point in time. Don't disband unless it is required. I see so many teams that instantly PMCO ends and boom, disband on Twitter announced 5 minutes after. Don't do that. If you made it to this event, if you made it not even in the top 32, but you even made it into the finals, there's something that's clearly going right for you. You just might need a little bit more time and also a little bit more expertise and experience to actually get to the level you want to be. So don't disband right away. Try and make it work. You got more PMCOs next year. Going to have 2 more the year after that, the year after that. PUBG Mobile is here to stay, especially in the esports scene. So I'm just hoping to see these teams come back next season and actually be the same teams and hopefully improve and learn from their mistakes.
And just to add on to that, Max, right? If you are a team that maybe does think about disbanding or something like that, I can tell you, even if you want to change 1 or 2 players, sometimes, unless you're having real bad issues and like you just don't get on as friends or something, sticking together and riding it out, learning to synergize yourself a bit better, working harder, putting some extra time in is definitely the better way to go than just making drastic changes and potentially upsetting what you've started to build on already. Because as we keep mentioning, all these official games that come into play time after time again, you're learning more about each other. You're seeing if things work out. But there are obviously reasons why you might have to remove a player or something might not be working out, personal reasons or something else, or just a team maybe wants to steal a player away. But if you can, hold on to what you've got, keep on working forward as a team and become the best team you can be. But already, Max, we're at this time again where it is the final game of our Championship Sunday. All the fates will be decided after this match of Erangel. And I just want to say to all of the community from Africa, thank you so much for all the support you've given all of us out here, the love and stuff we see across social media, on Instagram, in the chat, having a bit of fun with Moist Max and just spamming that and the whole way through as well. Had to get one last one in there, Max. Just
fair
smile
enough.
And wave. You know, you got to go one more time. But we got to do the spring split now all the way to the full split. And one thing I'm very proud to say for the Africa region is that you guys have certainly leveled up. It's looking better in terms of the players and teams that we've seen here. And I really hope when it comes back to the next season as well, we just see this all over again, because I was looking at this and it's the first PMCO they had back when we did the spring one. We saw like, oh, okay, there's some teams that can hang, they can fight. And then we saw what happened when it came to the MEA Championship last time. Obviously, Slime did their best, but they certainly had a tough hand. They were getting demolished by a lot of the other teams. But it's the experience you can gain. It's coming back and trying once again. And if Slime don't make it this time right, that'll fuel them even further to go harder when it comes to the next season. So much love to everyone watching. Thank you so much for supporting the entire PMCO. Honestly, just this has been so much fun once again. And having DK here as well, right from the region himself, does give us that little extra bit of fun we've been able to enjoy, Max. And we are just on this ride one last time, mate.
Yeah, is what he talks about, right? You don't want to swap the team out. I had enough of James for a big portion of time for last season. So I was like, we're going to bring in DK and he's going to take a little bit of effort off my back. I know you had a very inspirational moment there and I'm just like, I just break everything. That's how it is.
So I think we're just going to speak to good old producer Alan and tell him that, you know, we don't need Max at all for next season. You guys don't really like him anyway. And it's just me and DK the whole way through. So Max, enjoy your last ever game of the Africa PMCO, mate. There you go. You've just seen it. You've done yourself dirty once again. I find my way to worm myself in and out of these things with no problem at all. I almost come out unscathed. I just sometimes throw shade on myself, you know. We add +5 intellect when I put the glasses on. The rest of the time, doesn't have a clue what's going on. Just no idea. Not even sure how I start the PC up on a daily basis. I just like press things until it works out. Actually, no. Producer Alan enjoys this because I just don't turn my PC off. It's been running now for like. When did we start? It hasn't turned off since I started PMCO.
We had a 3-day break, so it's been. Today's been like what 13, 14 days was rehearsal.
Solid.
You don't turn off your computer.
No, I just leave it on all the time.
What?
Well, because there's all these settings that people do, right? Like on the mixer and things, and I don't want anything to change, and so I don't want anything to break. I'm not very good at the technical setup. When I got my PC, I had someone come set up like the nice camera and like do it all like this, and everything works. Got these lights and things. It's like, oh, magic. And I just
if it's not broken, I'm not touching it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Look, nothing is broken right now. Everyone hears me fine. If I turn it off, maybe it'll all go kaput. So one day, well. Literally, when I'm flying on Tuesday, leaving the country for a while. I have to turn it all off. I hope it works when I get home. If it doesn't, I just need to get someone else back.
Bring it with you. Just like get a car battery and just keep it on all the time. I'm just taking the plane.
Just leave it. A carry bag for it as well, you know. Why not? We'll see if that could be something we could do. But it is the final game of our finals here for the PMCO full split for the African region. And one last time, you guys get to hear and enjoy this. We are born to win, and I welcome you to the last exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with a much-loved Reno 5 series of phones. Dominate your PUBG mobile lobbies. Do what you can do, and maybe we will be seeing you guys in a PMCO in the near future, no matter what region you're from. Remember, the PMCO is a huge way into your professional career when it comes to playing PUBG mobile esports. That's what we love. Me and Max have been doing this now since 2019 when the first PMCO started off. And I'm just happy to be here. I love it from start to finish. And let's see what circle we are going to get. Let's see what madness is going to be here for the final game of the finals here on Erangel.
And it's insane to think PUBG Mobile Esports been here from like 2019, even a little bit before that. It's absolutely insane. And seeing how things have been evolving, it's great. And hopefully in the future, we'll see an African PMPL. That's the dream. We'll see if it's going to be happening at some point in time.
We definitely
we need it. Please, PUBG Mobile Esports team, we need an African PMPL. That'll be absolutely fantastic. But there we go. Our teams are now going to be going for the drop. Of course, it was a little bit more over to the eastern side, so teams might have to go for a little bit of an elongated drop. Other than that, we're seeing quite a few teams towards Novo. Young Thunder going to be in that position. MZR going to be in that position too. And FEINTED dropped there not too long ago, actually, just a few days ago, I believe. But they are dropping a little bit up in the northern side. No way. If we have ourselves some, we haven't had a single Sanhok Island finish, right?
Oh no.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? Oh no, this is perfect. The last game, close it off on Sanhok would be amazing. But Slime 4KT are going to be contested away by playoff team Somalia. He is just stranded away from the rest of his teammates. El Chapo with only a UMP and a tier 2 vest. Can he make the clutch versus one of the top teams in the lobby? He's going to get pushed up.
I don't fancy the chance. He tries to pre-fire a bit. Some shots come out. Slime do need to be careful. They don't want to risk it massively, but they'll put the hurt on him. They'll deal the damage onto him. And wait a sec, Aimer got blown up at some point as well. What? How did
there was
blow
a
up?
gas can? I'm pretty sure I saw a gas can in there.
I was like, what on earth happened there? Like, how did he end up on the floor? They completely had him surrounded, but there you go. Put the gas up, blow it all up real quick. If you're Somalia, surely you just run away now. You know, you don't have anything to do with this. Or maybe they do want to chat.
They're like, it's Slime 4KT. We need to chase them down. Let's ruin them. That's what teams do. They want to try and ruin your chance.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Hannah, that's illegal. That's not cool.
The shots were landed. 4KT are a bit split up in this as well. This has to be a very clean fight. Hanad pushing on forward. The beast is with him. Koa cannot help Storm just yet. Storm straight out the window. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this. First aid kit's going to be used. Now the rest of Somalia are here. It's a full 3 versus 3 if they want to play it out. Aimer still bleeding out. Less than half health going into play right now. Storm needing to be careful. Step by step, they're just running around each other. Shot's going to be landed. The beast goes down, and it is still all to play for. But here we go. Storm sees him out. The Uzi spray's there, fast and furious, and Storm is coming on to here and bringing it all home for 4KT when they need it most. They want to keep Aimer alive, but more damage is being done to. Oh, he's been brought back up just in time. There you go. Oh, that was a lot. That was wild.
It's too much.
Yeah. Like, that is edge of your seat type of play.
He got 3. He just 1v3 this entire fight.
There was a lot of running around. There was a lot of craziness going down. The 4KT, they stand strong. They survive it out. I thought Aimer was going to die, and then they luckily revived him. Oh.
They know they need every player because they know they need to win.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to take a fight in the first 4 minutes, go down as 3 players. Then your chance of a chicken dinner are going down, and I mean drastically. So this is big. They're going to have 4 kills, remain as a 4-man crew, get the loot also away from Team Somalia. This is a huge win for them, and now they already started closing that gap. Before this game, the gap was of 27 points. And closing off a little bit more, though. FEINTED going to try and cross over that bridge. Lose 1. Flacco will instantly get picked up by Power, and that will be a one-on-one trade. Luckily enough, though, FEINTED can get Dizzy back on his own 2 feet. But it seems like teams are now starting to commit towards Sanhok Island, and that is why we need to see Slime 4KT not go for their usual playstyle of rotating late, which works out for them from time to time. But rotating late, James, on Sanhok Island is a no-go. Yeah. You do not want to do that.
The bridge camping that can come into play, right, can make your life so hard to try and get across. Already Temper, he knows, he's aware. He does not want to maybe find himself being picked apart too early on here, as they want to try and cross. Already Flacco has been killed off. And it's trying to see who could be wading out there.
Now imagine it goes back to the mainland and just trolls everyone.
Could you imagine? Just for the final game of the final Championship Sunday with the craziest circle you can get. Still potential for it. Still a lot of time before this first circle changes up. But like you mentioned, 4KT, they're still in South George now. I want to see him rotate as quick as possible.
Yeah. Though G3, don't forget, G3 had the same amount of points as Slime 4KT before this game. Now, Slime are 4 points ahead. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. Every single kill is going to make a very big difference in that top 2 and top 3 position. Oh, Pin's been heard.
Pin.
Intel's been given over. Gonna try and... No, he's on the rooftop. He doesn't know that just yet. But this is a very easy roof to nade, though, because you've got the little walls all around it. Makes the nade actually just stand in place.
Yep.
So, would be a good idea to try and maybe nade him out. And I think he's hearing the pins. He knows they're going to try and nade that rooftop eventually. He's just hiding inside, trying to make sure he is not prone to taking that nade damage.
I like this angle he's trying to play it from, though.
First person perspective. I like that. Ooh. That's what Kobe attempt.
It's just a waiting game, though, isn't it? His position is less than ideal. His teammates even trying to help him was going to be very difficult for them to get involved in. Poised and ready with the nade on top. Trying to hit it off the wall and bring it on down on top of him, but for now, Feinted. They're just hoping that he will make the mistake. All of them are playing it smart for now. Yeah. There's some high ground shots that they can be taken from the other Young Thunder players. And at least if they do maybe go on the roof, Feinted do actually try to challenge him on the roof, there is a fight that can be had there.
That's the smart play. That's the entire reason why they set that up, to make sure if a push on the roof actually does come through, Feinted will be threatened by the players of Young Thunder still on the rooftop position. A little bit of pre-fire. Never know who's going to be hiding in the smokes.
Oh my.
If that smoke dissipates now, that's an easy kill onto power. Come on. How long is the smoke going to go? It lasts 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Oh, this is so close. And Feinted don't want to be known as a team in last place, right? They want to try and move up in 15th, hopefully. Though Buden got a headshot. G3, we talked about this too. They can't afford to go out. And they are getting a little bit gay-kept over in the Eastern Bridge.
They already lost one, right? Flacco went down.
Yeah, Buden might just get confirmed too. So they are suffering big casualties. And this is making a very big disservice to take and hold on to that second place they had before this game.
Slime have started to make their rotation as well. It's definitely earlier than normal. They've not tanked much of the blue damage. Nades coming through, frozen on the floor. MZR have definitely had a better day than usual. They end it on a high note. Gain some sufficient positions here on the overall rankings. Turpis, we spoke about him clutching out so many epic rounds for his team. He's only got 2 more players on this RRAGE team to find. They're going in for this revive. Turpis looking to make some noise and bait him out. Comes through with the shots. They both prone at the same time as trying to land it. But Turpis, he'll come through huge. That's exactly what they want to see in there.
1v2.
How do you escape this? Loads of bullets were coming out towards him. He's just going to back away.
We got to look at G3 also. They're still on that bridge. And they're just getting surrounded by Mezexis players. Yep. It is horrendous for them. They die now. And because of Slime 4KT already securing himself 4 kills, they're surrendering one of the PMPL slots away. Because you have 2 technically come into this, if I'm not mistaken. So that is just an absolutely insane way to end it up. Power trying to get a pan shot through the wall, I think, unfortunately. It's not going to work out, Power. Nice try, though. I respect the originality.
It does say there's only 1 winner qualified for the EMEA Championship full split.
Is that how it said? Okay.
1 for now.
Ooh.
Obviously, things can change. No, we just know things do change every now and again, don't they?
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it should just be 1 team going forward.
Okay,
if there is 1 for the second team, that would be huge. But because I know on a graphic right it says top teams, but then on Liquipedia right now it says just 1. So I guess top teams could mean just top teams across all the regions overall that are within the EMEA at least. True, still up here, still chilling, still playing around. Can he get the drop on? Oh, he spots the feet.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't take the shots. We'll now know that they're just below him. Rage, they'll find themselves eliminated now. Superior still trying to provide this cover fire. Romeo's got closer to it as well. And these are good positions here.
Where you drop down. It's actually big if he plays with Romeo really well. They can just pinch him down. One player pushes from down below. One player pushes up from up above. It is almost impossible to fight back against a play like that. Trying to potentially push them out with a knock on a nade. I'll try and go for a second. So we can't see it right now, but on the minimap up north, a few teams are going to be currently clashing. And I was about to say, INF are pushing their way closer and closer to KHK. KHK still on 0 points as of right now in terms of kills. So they cannot afford to lose that fight versus Influence Rage Africa. Otherwise, things are going to get very dire for them. Austin gets confirmed away. Six God able to clutch it out despite being the final player, I believe, right now for G3. I believe they got 1 or 2. Yeah, they still got 2 players on their side. The Zero get taken down. That's going to be the go-to signal. Because now they're closing the gap. And Romeo, 1 nade onto power, and that will unlock all of this fight.
G3 still able to hold on to this bridge area as well. Gatekeeping a lot of teams from coming across just yet. There we go. Leonardo goes down straight in for the kill. By the way, this is huge because RRAGE are eliminated and Young Thunder was in 7th place. They've now grabbed that 6th place. There was only 1 point difference between them. So this is actually huge. Young Thunder already jumped on up. Overtaking Mezexis is going to be quite difficult. They're a fair amount ahead. They've got 139 points to Young Thunder's 122. But at least now they've gained 1 position with it. It's a bit more money in their back pockets.
If they can get a top 3, that would definitely be something possible. KHK versus Slime 4KT. Now, that's a very big fight we definitely don't want to miss. We'll have to see how the fight is currently happening. It's currently going down up north of the river in the northern side of the circle. The circle's about to shift now into our 3rd phase, and it should add a little bit more of a sense of urgency. What did happen there? Not too sure. Original trick, gotta say. Yeah, there's some extra urgency now for these fights. Great nade from Vindex onto Lewis. Going to put him so damn low. Going to force the first aid in response. Now one's going to try and close that gap around KHK. They're now down to 2 players on their side, and KHK are just absolutely cornered away against this cliff. There is no easy escape. Or if you want to make it out, you're going to have to jump in the water, which unfortunately nobody wants to do that. Big nade again onto Pennywise, and Vindex, the double, will give himself a knock. Now they're going to close it up and get those kills confirmed. KHK might just be falling from grace after this game.
They were nicely ahead, but going down with 0 points gives both 4KT and G3 a chance, if they get a big win, to take that 1st place away. This is not how KHK would want to be going down. And the split. Oh, where do you go? Where do you try and fight from? I mean, sit on the left bridge and you just wait.
Normally, logic would say you go to Sanhok. But, as we know, logic is not always the thing you should follow in a game of PUBG Mobile Esports. Sometimes the circles can be a little bit all over the place, a little bit wacky. So we'll see. Influence RRAGE Africa holding on that ridge line so well, making sure they zone teams away. But Slime 4KT, they're over to the northwest, and they just heard those gunshots. They're avoiding it like the plague. They do not want to take a fight anymore. They are feeling lucky they survived as a 4-man earlier. And now they just want to make sure they stand strong. This gun take himself the kills, and Mezexis get eliminated. And you talked about it. Overtaking them is pretty hard for Young Thunder. Now the Mezexis are dead, and Young Thunder already started off strong. This might be an extra 2 slots given away to Young Thunder, and they might just barely make in top 5 on this last game.
Blackjack Esports have had one hell of a day to jump on up as well. Looking to continue to do the damage here at the same time. 3 kills found so far. Put themselves in a nice position overall.
They were in 14th at the start. Now they're in 4th. In just a few days, it's... What a comeback. Definitely the biggest comeback in this event.
For them. We mentioned them, right? We said they were a team that we know and expect to do better than what we'd seen from them last couple of days.
They were like, I got you, fam.
Yeah, they switched it up, man. They switched it on.
They got us real good. Gonna go for the... Oh, okay. So, I mean, you were saying it as like a meme note, just stay on the bridge. But, hey, team not going to go for it. Blackjack are going to go for the wide race on the eastern bridge. Slime 4KT going to encounter another squad now. Going to be Lag. Lag really don't have too much to lose here. Just some extra prize pool they could try and secure if they get a strong performance. But
how many players on Slime alive? They're 2 dead already.
I saw them in a kill feed. I think they lost 1 minimum.
Oh.
I don't know if there's another player in the distance somewhere.
KHK are just looking at this and saying, okay, stay alive. Keep ourselves going. There's only Jairbot left.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. There's only 2 of them. Pronto and Storm. Aimer and Koa have gone down. Oh, this is so crazy.
Okay, everyone's going to have to cross up north now. KHK going to have to make the cross. Slime 4KT, Lag, INF, Gun, Drogons. And though, when you're looking at the teams that can set themselves up so easily for success, is going to be MZR. MZR has got very easy entry point over to the western side. High ground position, literally the tippity top of the mountain in this current circle. Really good elevation. All they have to do is go there, zone teams away, be aggressive, and that could be a lot of kills being fed in their overall points. Got to be careful and hold on to it, as the eastern side is now going to be clustered with teams. Aphelion Apex, Blackjack Esports are also going to get slowly but surely on top of each another. That could be a very important fight for Blackjack Esports, as they want to make sure they do not get overtaken by the teams right below them.
Well, Lag have spotted out Thunder. Nade not quite going to where he wanted it, but Nade's coming back out towards him. In the meantime, Storm are going to go for the run across. Leader taking some pop shots at him, but can't quite make it connect. Not able to take him out of the buggy as they rush on by. And that means both Lag and MZR will still be here chilling for the meantime. Thunder's going to see another team go past him in terms of the other two players of Lag. Doesn't decide to take the shots on him and wants to keep the other two pinned down. Berserk and Zero will march their way on forward on this one. But LBX, he's there. He hears it. Can he do the damage he needs now? First few shots not going to land out perfectly for him. He'll get overwhelmed and run on down. And MZR, well, despite you saying them maybe having a good position here, they might not be able to do the damage they need. Leader now put on the floor with the grenade, but Fantasy also very low at the same time. The Drogons are very late crossing this bridge. And Thunder, well, he's the troll, as it be, you know, holding the bridge. Not allowing anyone else to get past wherever possible. Oh, Ghost
He can make
alive.
He answered the riddle. He's allowed. It's okay.
It was all said. All said and done.
Oh, be careful though. Little shots from down below. I'm surprised. MZR should have been holding that little ridgeline, actually. How has Lag got control of that one that easily? By just merely pushing inside. That's big. The res did come on through, luckily enough, onto IBX. Now Lag's got the info. Can shoot right below those cars. You need to pop the wheels. Smoking it up to Turpis, IBX. A lot of opposition is now coming their way. And they also got the teammate Fantasies there to join the party. He wants a piece of this pie. This Berserk's going to try and hold the forefront. How are you going to make it? You got to be careful on the side, though. There are going to be more players. They're going to go for the push.
Turpis.
Behind him.
He's being picked out from every direction at this moment in time. MZR go down. Lag. They do get a bit of backup on that one. And they'll be happy for it as well. They only lost leader overall. But the Drogons massively saving them there. Both the Drogons and Lag got past Thunder. And they technically helped each other out. But now they will potentially fight each other a little bit later on as well. Storm got a new good position within this circle alongside Pronto. There's a lot of space still within it. This is wild. Look at this. And Jairbot just tanking a bit of blue damage for now. Going to try find his way in on the coastline. Still keeping himself up for KHK wherever possible. You know, the consistency we spoke about with these guys, even with one player alive, they believe they can make it work. But look at the new circle shift. Jairbot's down. KHK are out of here.
It's a slope finish. It is horrible. The central point is literally the lowest position in terms of elevation. And also the position down south. But it is just not fun. You want to play edge the entire way. You go center, you're pretty much surrendering your life away to the rest of the lobby, which is definitely something you want to avoid. RRAGE Africa, though, got Vindex, the nade god of this game, knocked down. Gun do get picked up at the very end, so still started off strong. Got himself a few extra positioning points. Will it be enough, though, to push himself up in 8th position? I'm unsure, but we'll have to look at the rankings at the end of this stream. Sully has no clue as to where Blackjack Esports currently stand. Trying to get a few shots onto the feet of Hansley, but he's going to be fine. But now your focus should be to move into the circle, which is definitely what Blackjack Esports intend to do.
Yeah, they kept him at bay for just a little bit. Zane and Cheddar trying to find an angle they want to take from here. There's just so many bad spots that you would have to sit on. Now, Young Thunder should have heard this approach. 4 players up for Young Thunder as well. 9 points already found for him. They're the healthiest team in a great spot to fight from. Hainsley finds himself going down as well.
Good. Push it.
Oh, Superior sees it. First one onto Zane. Takes a nice amount of damage, though. Needs to make sure he can stay in a good spot. Blackjack Esports still fighting, still looking.
Blackjack are trying to gatekeep while being gaycats.
Yeah.
Not the play. You want to move out of that one.
No smoke to even give them cover at the same time, right? So they're just exposed from whichever angle they want to fight from. Ooh, Storm in the kill feed, though. We'll find a kill on the JR for Drogons. Slime are up with 2 players, but they have got 5 points here now.
Oh, MG. Oh, that is risky. He's going for the central position, and I said it is pretty risky to go for that kind of spot. He's moving around, trying to find a suitable position to hold on to. But now Sully trying to smoke his way up. 1 nade in the smoke, and you're pretty much sure to get that one. K moves out, saw the nade roll to his feet. Remio's trying to make sure he can keep Sully away, but the blue zone is pushing him out, and he's going to have to take that fight. Sully, there's nowhere to escape, my friend. Young Thunder are now picking up their 12th kill. They're on absolute bloodbath of a game. And that's it for Influence Rage Africa, eliminated in 7th. That is their final game of this African PMCO, done and dusted. There's only 6 teams now remain. Slime 4KT are still in the race.
They need so many points, though, Max.
They need so many kills, yeah. It's hard.
And it's too much of a risk to be fighting non-stop when you're just 2 players alive. Already you can see Storm hasn't got too much meds up there with him. Problematic to say the least.
If one player can make it happen, right, Storm. We've learned to not doubt this guy. That's something as a fact. But Young Thunder, they're so proactive. Every circle, boom, taking the best position, back to back to back to back. And now they spot MG. And that's it for Blackjack Esports. I'm pretty sure they had enough points to make sure they do not budge away from that 4th place. But you never know. We'll have to see how the points are going to be shifting later on, because Young Thunder are one of the teams that could take away their potential spot. They're going to need an absolute bang of a game. They're going to need a win minimum if they want to take away that 4th place.
Well, with the amount of kills they're getting, if they got to win as well, it may be enough to see them jump quite far up in terms of it. Before this game started, Young Thunder were in 7th with 122 points. Mezexis were 5th with 139. And look how many points Young Thunder are racking up. Storm finds himself going down. Pronto's there alongside him. This, getting a revive is going to be so difficult. The nades, they're ready. They're going downhill. And they're looking like they're going to be on the money. Pronto ripped apart. He stands up and tries to fight. It's only a knock that he will get. And Young Thunder are up and doing it. 15 kills found already. 6 players alive. And, well, Trip. You're getting spammed at. You're trying to use the tree for some cover. Does he know the Ghost is here?
He doesn't know.
Oh, there we go.
Doesn't need to know anymore.
He's going to show himself. He's in a 1v4. He's hiding behind the buggy. Young Thunder are looking to get a 17-kill game. Will this be the highest?
But from them, yes. We got ourselves a 20 kill bomb and a 19 just before.
That was it, the 19, wasn't it? But it wasn't. Yeah. It was 19 without a win. So we got a 20 with the win. And this one is just full sending it forward. Rush on out. Ghost doesn't know where to look or where to turn. Young Thunder will pick up a beautifully done win. They took superior control of the circle every step of the way. Plenty of points, plenty of kills as well. They can be very proud with how it all ending. But have they done enough to jump up and take? So they were sat in 6th place. They could potentially have gone up to 5th place.
5th place, I think, is pretty much sure. Though 4th place is a little bit of a stretch. We're going to have to see, because MG died pretty late, right? I think he got himself around top 6 before he actually did go down, and he even got picked up by the side of Young Thunder. So if it's just a 1 point difference, MG's going to feel so bad about that. We'll have to see, of course, how things are going out. But man, it was a really good way to close off this game. It was very close for G3 and Slime 4KT, but as we know, KHK did get himself more points for beforehand. So we'll have to see how things actually shifted between G3 Tempo and Slime 4KT. Which team actually got himself that position? We'll have to see as we check out the rankings later.
I know. It's all come down to this. We're pretty sure that KHK should have made it all the way through, but we'll have to wait for the final points to be added and done to understand it. G3 Tempo doesn't look like they may have done enough there to overtake Slime in the end, considering how close those guys were. But for the other ones, there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of swapping back and forth of how it all goes down. But what an insane circle for these guys to have to deal with on the final game, you know. We've avoided Millie Base for a long time, and then right at the end, it goes over to the island. Everyone has to scramble across. It's difficult when you're getting bridge camped from start to finish. You're trying to run past as you're being shot at by everyone else. And, well, MZR, they felt like they had a great read on how it was all going down, but I think they let too many people pass to be able to hold on to that position for a long enough time. Yeah,
especially Team Lag. I mean, Team Lag just didn't even run into it. They just walked in position and were like, well, this position is free, it's high ground. I'm going to be taking that fight versus MZR, and MZR just got overtaken completely. I mean, those are the few little things that hopefully these teams going to look back onto and think, okay, how can we improve hitting the next PMCO? That's something that MZR can be very aware of, but we're ready to check out, James. We're ready to go for it.
It's time. Let's see the overall rankings and see what we have for the final time And it's KHK with 212 points going through as your first place team here for the PUBG Mobile Club Open full split for the African region. Slime 4KT will secure that second place with 197. G3 Temper unable to jump above them at the very end. And Young Thunder grab fourth place. We were looking at it, just 4 points clear of Blackjack Esports. They will be oh so happy with that, because the difference between fifth place and fourth place is an extra $200 they earned themselves in that fantastic final game, and the only chicken dinner they managed to get during the finals here, Max.
From 7th to 4th out of the course of all of these 16 games, and the last one is where Young Thunder drops from 7th to 4th. That is insane. I think I've very rarely seen such a huge jump forward, such a leapfrog in the top 8 out of the final game when you have 16 games total. It is insane to even imagine Young Thunder actually made that work out. Still great games coming out from Blackjack Esports after struggling on their first day, but Young Thunder definitely need a huge round of applause on that one. And now looking onto the second page, I was thinking, you never know, maybe Gamers Unite Nation will be able to push themselves up on the first page. Unfortunately, that will not become a reality. But still a very big improvement from what we saw at the start of the day, where they were in 15th and now in 9th. They can still be very happy and pat themselves on the back.
Oh, yes. So let's take it and let's congratulate them and crown our champions. It's KHK Esports Africa, our PMCO Fall 2021 Africa champions, doing it in style. They stayed consistent. They stayed confident. Their worst placements were better than some placements that other teams even ever got throughout this. KHK came through and they showed the region how to get it done, Max.
It's just consistency. We keep talking about it every single time when I've been working on PMGC, PMPLs. The word you will be hearing the most said by any caster, analyst, or even host is going to be the word consistent. And this is what KHK Esports have been embodying going into this entirety of the PMCO. Group stage, they were looking really strong, but it really did shine through going into these finals. And now we know that this team is going to be making it to the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 2.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget, that is a tournament that gives you an opportunity and a shot to make it into the PMGC at the end of the year to become one of the best teams in the world, potentially. So this is the team that have an opportunity now to represent Africa on an even bigger stage that have ever been seen before.
But if they thought the finals were hard, well, when you get to the EMEA Championship,
It's a different level.
It's a whole other level. So they best get that practice in. They best get themselves into the best shape possible. But Max, we are done, mate. And for one final time, you know what I got to do. I got to remind everyone that across all of the PMCO Africa full split, we have been born to win. And this has been brought to you by Oppo. So you guys can get your gamer mode on with a much loved Reno 5 series of phones, because we want to keep them coming back to the PUBG mobile esports scene and supporting us like we want to see this grow further and further. But Max, any closing thoughts, any final words, my friend?
I mean, really, I thought you were going to finish off with a Moist Max button press, but you know what? We'll keep that for potential at the end there. But no, really, next one potentially. No, it's just been a great PMCO event. As always, it's great to see the African region improve so much. It's just been a few months, right, since last PMCO we covered, James, and really it's just such a drastic shift in meta, in approach, and how teams have been able to improve. I'm so impressed and glad to be able to cast these events and all of these African teams actually play so well. I'm hoping, as I said, my dream would be to see, maybe not this year, or will be complicated, but maybe in the years to come, to see an African team make it to the PMGC. Hopefully that's going to happen. But if you guys keep improving like you've been doing so far, I think it is maybe not that far off, although we can see an African team in the PMGC. It is certainly possible, but we are done. Thank you for rocking it with us across the 10 days of competitive play. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you all of the action. I hope whatever you guys are doing, you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, whatever time you are up at. And then we will make sure we see you back whenever the next PMCO is. But make sure you're keeping an eye on the other PMCOs around the regions that are still going on, the PMPLs when they start to take place, and make sure you are back for the EMEA Championship, where you will get to support your boys from the Africa region, KHK Esports. We'll see you next time.
Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Coded to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.